This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. This broadcast is presented by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? Visit GoCurrency.com. Faith Regional Health Services. When you need exemplary care, have faith. And by Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com.
It is a perfect night for baseball in the Cornhusker State, and we are ready for another year of Corn Belt League baseball on News Channel Nebraska Sports. My name is Jake Bartecki. Seated to my right here at Seymour Smith Field in Omaha is Andy Klassen. Welcome to another edition of Baseball on News Channel Nebraska. Andy, you've been around this series a lot longer than I have. This is my first go around here at the Corn Belt League, but tell us a little bit about it, what makes it special.
Yeah, and this is a fantastic setup. We're at the old home of the UNO Mavericks, who also have a phenomenal collegiate baseball team of their own. This is J.J. Isaacson Field. Looks spectacular right now. I don't know if I've ever seen it in better shape. Beautiful grass, infield, outfield, and you already mentioned it, the weather is picture perfect to keep this tradition we've started on News Channel Nebraska alive, and that is Thursday Night Baseball, brought to you by the Corn Belt League.
And let's talk a little bit about these two teams. Our matchup brought to you in part by Norris Public Power District. Norris Public Power, always there when you need us, and that is the Royal Blue Dogs, who come in with a record of 2-1, and the Omaha Black Sox 0-2. Andy, there's a little bit of a unique aspect to this ball game. That is that head coach tonight for the Royal Blue Dogs, Vern Hasty, former head coach at Chicago State at the college ranks. He now is coaching both of these two teams. Peyton Stockwell, his assistant, is going to be head coach of the Black Sox. So a little bit of a different scenario there, but that's kind of what makes summer college baseball unique.
Well, and this is a unique league as well, you know, when we're talking about developmental collegiate leagues. And it's more of an apprenticeship, really, for Coach Peyton Stockwell. You know, where Vern Hasty, yes, he's on paper the head coach for both squads, but when you get a matchup like here tonight, Black Sox versus the Royal Dogs, Peyton Stockwell, the young man, is going to be the skipper over there for the Black Sox here tonight. So it's an opportunity for these players to not only, you know, keep their skills at that level they needed to be during the offseason and work on some of their, you know, fundamentals. It's an opportunity for coaches as well, especially young coaches like Peyton Stockwell on the other side, taking on Vern Hasty here tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about that. States from all across the country have teams in this league, and of course in Nebraska. All the way from McCook to right here in Omaha, many, many counties involved. Our pitching matchup, Ryan Malone, a product out of McCook Community College, and Dylan Novotny. He is from Ortville, and he will take the mound for the Omaha Black Sox. Our pregame show on News Channel Nebraska is brought to you in part by Columbus Motor Company, your Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram dealer, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always. More of the pregame show coming up. This is Corn Belt League Baseball on NCN.
The pregame show is sponsored by Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. If your business needs help financing big-ticket items, visit GoCurrency.com for details. And by Custom Sports. Represent your school and look good doing it with Custom Sports.
Woodhouse brings you the experts and insight to keep your vehicle road ready. From regular maintenance to larger issues, our team of service advisors and brand certified techs have the solutions to get you and your vehicle back on the road. Plus, you can enjoy convenience of scheduling online. amenities like pickup and delivery, and for quick fixes, comfortable lounges within our dealerships. Bringing you more every time since 1975. Service with Woodhouse.
If you're thinking about becoming a John Deere technician, receive a debt-free degree from Landmark Implement. With the John Deere Student Tech program, receive reimbursement for up to 100% of college tuition, fees, books, and room and board, plus a $5,000 tool stipend. Students are paid a competitive hourly wage for their work hours and are guaranteed employment at a Landmark location after graduation. Visit landmark.careers to find out more about the John Deere Student Tech program and become part of the Landmark difference.
Nick DeMonte to the plate, facing Gavin Novotny, count 1-0, now 1-1 as he takes a strike on the inside part of the plate. My name is Jake Bartecki. Andy Klassen to my right. Omaha Black Sox, Royal Blue Dogs. The starter for the Blue Dogs this afternoon, that would be Ryan Maloney. There's no official record so far this summer. In one start, he pitched 2 innings, didn't strike anybody out, didn't allow any runs, but he did allow 3 hits. So he got himself out of a jam in his one time on the mound. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count. York University commit bounces one left side, but foul, 2-2.
Yeah, DeMonte going to play ball at the next level at York College there. Played his high school ball right down the road here from Platteview, doing a really nice job being defensive at the plate, willing to take a pitch. There you saw him fight one off, kind of slap it down the third base line.
Malone looking for his first strikeout of the season. Count 2-2 against DeMonte. DeMonte batting .667 to start the campaign. 2-2, called strike 3, and there's the first strikeout of the season in the Corn Belt League for Ryan Malone, and there's 1 away here in the first.
And it looked a little wide there, but if that's going to be the way it's called, a generous strike zone, I'm fine with it. But those are some of the lumps you got to take the first time through the order, through the lineup, is get a feel for the blue for the umpire behind the plate.
So that brings in Dylan Fuller. San Joaquin Delta is where he heads to school. Pitch there is low, 1-0. Andy, it's fascinating the wide range of schools you see in this league.
It's a lot of fun. You know, I think a lot of people, when they think of collegiate summer leagues, they think Cape Cod, you know, and some of the ones that have been around for a while.
Coastal Plain.
Yeah, there you go. And this is a unique situation where this gathers a lot of Division II, NAI. There are some Division I players out there, and we've seen them before. But there's a lot of guys. It serves the purpose of Nebraska ingrown state guys and also out-of-state guys that want to get in a collegiate league, a developmental league, but then don't want to travel week in and week out and be on the road for maybe a week and a half or 2 weeks like you see in some of those other leagues. Here you have host families, and the majority of the games are played on 1 or 2 fields here in the Omaha metro area.
And it makes it easy on the players that are from this area, too. They can sleep in their own bed.
You're exactly right. We see a number of players here that played their ball at Omaha West Side, Omaha Central, Gretna right down the road. We just saw Platteview in the house.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the count now to Fuller. Battled back from down 2-0. Fuller looking for his first hit of the year. And he takes one outside. So a 2-2 count and a full count issued from Ryan Malone, the pitcher this evening for the Royal Blue Dogs.
Malone has an interesting windup. Look how he almost has a pause halfway through his delivery here.
Looking for another strikeout is Malone, and he's got it.
Oh, and that was fantastic. See how it kind of changed gears there? I was just talking about that pause. That definitely threw the timing off for the hitter. Big cut, nothing to show for it.
Yeah, it looks like they did say he got a tip of that. Boy, that must have been very little, because from our angle, I didn't think he got a piece of it.
Well, he was confident in his argument. Catcher saying, I don't know if I heard that. He saw him with his palms up there.
So the count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes to Dylan Fuller. He plays right field this evening. For the Black Sox, the 3-2, this one hit in the air towards left, pushing Sullivan back, and this will bounce in front of the wall, in front of the warning track, and heading for second is Fuller. The throw in is cut off. It's a 1-out, 3-2 double to left field.
And that's just a really good piece of hitting there. Dylan Fuller didn't try to do too much with it. Just it was a little low, a little outside, but it was on the plate, so he had to protect. Just went ahead and took it to left field, got a double out of it. I like the pitch selection, Jake, from Malone, the starting pitcher here. He didn't want to give him a walk. He didn't want to give him a free pass, so he kept a strike. That's just a really good piece of hitting there going opposite field.
So in the first at-bat, Malone gets his first strikeout of the summer, and then Dylan Fuller in the next at-bat, he gets his first hit, and it's an extra base hit to left.
And now you're starting to see a little bit of gamesmanship being put on here by head coach Vern Hasty, looking to go small ball, trying to advance the runner 90 feet through the bunt.
York College's Dominic DeMauro, he'll play left field this evening for the Black Sox. He comes to the plate. Comes in looking for his first hit, but he's got an OBP of 500.
And DeMaro's another one of these guys who's going to play his college ball at York University. Also played for Papio Papillion La Vista, proud high school baseball program of the metro area.
This one flipped to the right side. Simonson is over there. The slide and the play at first base is not in time. Malone tried to get over there covering, and now it's runners on the corners with 1 out after an early strikeout.
And Malone did everything he could to make that play. You saw him try to extend his leg out to get the tag down and corral the ball all at the same time. We'll get a good look at it here at the replay, but just not enough. A little late. Now you got runners in the corners. Black Sox are in business.
Black Sox looking for their first win of the summer, 0-2. Coming into this one, the Royal Blue Dogs 2-1. Jackson Yeager out of McCook Community College. He plays first base this evening, comes in. Righty batter takes a strike. Curveball drops in 0-1.
I think a lot of folks from the Omaha metro area recognize that name, Yeager Jackson. Young man played for Westside, one of those Warriors here playing in the Corton Belt League this summer.
This one popped up on the infield. Malone does away with the hat and squeezes it for the second out of the inning, and there are now 2 away.
He wasn't going to let another ball hit in the infield turn into a runner on base.
So 2 gone now for Dylan Novotny, our pitcher versus pitcher matchup. Comes in with runners on the corners and 2 outs. With runners in scoring position this season, the Black Sox struggling, just batting 200 in that category.
Gotta love Novotny's versatility, young man at the plate. Plays first base, third base, and also does some of the pitching responsibilities here for the Black Sox.
We'll do that tonight. First pitch, ball high, 1-0.
Here's an opportunity for him to help himself, right? You got a runner on third base, an RBI just sitting there. You can just get into that first inning with a little cushion, a 1-0 lead if you can just get something out of the infield.
1-0. Off the plate, says the home plate umpire. 2 balls, no strikes. So far this inning, a strikeout, the first of the year for pitcher Ryan Malone. Then the first hit of the year for Dylan Fuller, who stands on third. He got on to second with a stand-up double and an infield single by Dominic DeMauro.
There's some movement on that last pitch, but Malone's got to bring that down. Now, whether that was a changeup or curveball, I don't know what he was trying to pull off there, but that's a dangerous pitch if it's going to hang up like that.
The 2-1. Check swing. He did go. Was a strike anyways in my eyes. 2-2. Ballpark this evening, 410 to straightaway center, 325 down the line, and right 325 and left, call it 340 to the corners in left and right center.
Just a real light breeze, wind really not a factor here tonight. Like we mentioned in the pregame, just a perfect setting to begin Thursday night baseball on News Channel Nebraska.
And you see the Corn Belt logo in center field. No movement on that flag. The 2-2, ball in the dirt, swing and a miss, strike 3. Malone gets his first 2 strikeouts of the summer, and he gets himself out of a jam. And the Black Sox strand runners on the corners. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Blue Dogs coming to bat.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back in the future.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. The wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
Experience what banking local feels like. Bank of the Valley is owned and managed by the people within our community. This means our decisions are made right here by people who care about you and the communities we serve. Knowing our customers personally helps our experienced team provide the best solutions as your banking needs and goals change. Stop into our newest branch in Schuyler, Nebraska, or visit any of our other bank locations in person or online. Bank of the Valley. Together, we go further.
Spring is here. For farmers, making safety a priority this planting season can be the difference between life and death. Always look out for power lines before exiting the cab, when loading and transporting machinery, and when raising or unfolding equipment. Keep equipment at least 20 feet from power lines and use a spotter when possible. Be aware of what's overhead. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
Welcome back to Omaha. 1.5 inning down as we work the bottom of the first inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Omaha Black Sox as they strand runners on the corners in the top of the first. And it brings up TJ Sullivan, Luke Bees, and Will Johnson for the Blue Dogs. They're all going to face Dylan Novotny. No official record through the year, through 2 appearances, a 2.14 ERA. He's got 5 strikeouts. Sullivan steps in. First pitch to him coming. And that one low for a ball, 1-0.
And I don't know if you're going to find a more versatile guy. You know, they say a 4-tool, 5-tool type of guy. They got him listed as utility, middle infield, outfield. Young man out of Gretna played his high school ball for the Dragons. There's a little bit of everything for the Blue Dogs.
Takes a strike high, 1-1. You mentioned the Dragons, one of the best logos, I think, in Nebraska high school sports.
And mascot.
Sterling, the Jets, they have a great logo as well.
I love the retro jet. It kind of has a little girth to him.
Yep, with a snarl.
Yep.
Takes the first 3 pitches, does Sullivan, the Northwestern College product, down 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sullivan this year batting .500. He's 3 for 6. 1-2. Poked into right field. Dylan Fuller at the line makes the catch, and there is 1 gone. The first inning is brought to you in part by USAVE Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all of our customers. 1 away after the fly out to right by Sullivan, and it brings up Luke Bees.
And that was a lazy, fly ball there, but Fuller did a really nice job honing in on it. He's fighting a hard sun right now, coming in right into his eyes, but he was able to track that one, get over there and make the play.
78 degrees, not much wind to make note of. And no clouds in the sky. First pitch, swing and a miss. Big swing at a changeup, 0-1.
You gotta like that pitch with the heat inside. Very tough to handle for a hitter.
79 degrees our temperature. Working in the first half of the 7 o'clock hour. Ball gets away from Azevedo behind the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. No runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Black Sox in their half of the first inning. 2 strikeouts for Ryan Malone, pitcher for the Blue Dogs tonight. Those are his first 2 strikeouts of the season. 1 gone here for the Royal Blue Dogs in their half of the first. This one ripped down the line and left, and that's a fair ball. Taking the turn for second is Bees. We're going to have a play at second base, and did he skip over the tag? He did not. Good effort. But an even better throw-in from left field by DeMauro.
Yeah, DeMauro had that one on a rope. Well-hit ball, line drive right past the third baseman. But DeMauro was able to get over there in a hurry. Fielded cleanly. Look at this exchange, the quick hands from the left side of your screen there. Plenty of time at second base.
You like the effort.
Yeah. I also like a guy on base. You know what I mean?
First pitch to Will Johnson, swings at a high fastball. He's down 0-1. Second batter out of Mount Marty to come to the plate. Second in as many batters as well. He'll play second base this evening. 0-1, dribbles one down. Line it towards right, and it's 0-2.
And you can see how Novotny really likes to change his pitch speed. From the mound, he was able to get a fastball by not only Johnson here, but the previous batter. Then with that changeup, it was kind of a frozen rope pulled to the left side.
Gonna switch out SDR.
The 0-2. Swung on, hit high in the air towards left, but tomorrow is there. And 1-2-3 go the Blue Dogs. A base hit to left gets taken away after a play at second base. But at the end of the day, 1-2-3 go to the Blue Dogs. We'll head to the second, no score.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
Proud of the community you live in, taking care of the people in it isn't a job, it's an honor. At John Henry's, we take pride in being relied upon by the great people of Lincoln and the surrounding areas. A hard day's work means a happy customer, and making happy customers has been our goal all along. A team of expert plumbers, drain specialists, and HVAC professionals, dedicated to finding solutions for our customers. Because for us, a successful day ends with a handshake and a smile. John Henry's, our family serving yours.
One inning down, no runs, 2 hits, no errors for the Black Sox, no runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Royal Blue Dogs. He's Andy Klassen. I'm Jake Bartecki, News Channel Nebraska, presenting Corn Belt Summer League Baseball here on NCN Sports. Stebaum, Eklund, and Azevedo coming to the plate here for the Black Sox. Andy, you've got to see both pitchers go through one set of batters. What have you thought so far?
Well, you got to like both pitchers being able to bear down. Well, you like the 1-2-3, right, for the Black Sox. Novotny able to take care of business in order. Ryan Malone kind of got himself into a pickle, was able to get himself out. And I like how he's working the plate, Jake. He's doing a really nice job understanding the blue. The umpire is giving him that outside corner, so he's taking advantage.
First pitch to Steenbach outside. Second pitch also low and away, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, not that wide. You know.
Not that wide. not going to get that call very often. Outfield plays in just a little bit, but Steenbach drives it into the gap in left center. He'll head for second momentarily, get halfway there, and then he turns back to first. He'll accept a leadoff single here in the second. And the man aboard for the first time tonight for either side is the leadoff hitter.
And Steenbach, young man, played his high school ball at Lincoln East. They've enjoyed some success as of late. One of the most fun high school games I got to call this past spring was Lincoln East and Waverly. And boy, do the Spartans have things going in the right direction.
And heading down for second base is Steenbach, and some trouble behind the plate with the baseball. Dumont couldn't get up with it, and that puts a runner on second here with nobody out.
And I'm going to say, Cabin, you need to work on your slide a little bit. Great jump, excellent job reading the pitcher, but a little rough coming into second base there.
First pitch was a strike. Second pitch, a swinging strike. Ahead 0-2 is Ryan Malone.
And that's what you like to see from Malone. After giving up a base like that, letting a base runner get one on you, come right back with a fastball, get on top, get that strike.
Malone looking for his third strikeout, won't come here. This one's fouled off straight back. Gotta say, I think another fun game you and I got to call this spring was Beatrice Waverly.
Yes.
Beatrice down, what was it, 5 runs with 1 out to go to win 7-6. That doesn't happen every day.
And then the running back, former fullback, decided to go yard, dead center. What a game.
Called strike 3, a third strikeout on the evening for Malone, and his second looking, and it's a big first out here in the second.
That's a pitcher helping himself, taking matters into his own hands. As you mentioned, Mr. Bartecki, huge strikeout here for the Royal Blue Dogs.
That brings up Joe Azevedo. Runner on second with one gone. First pitch off the plate. And that's one thing, despite having 3 strikeouts and working himself out of at least one jam already, Malone's gotten behind a lot today.
Right. Well, I think he's really trying to work the corners, use his off-speed stuff, and it's out of the zone. And give credit to the umpire here behind the plate. He's been real consistent early on.
1 ball, 1 strike. Malone drops in a changeup. Check back over to second base, and nobody was there for Malone to throw back to. Bees was shadowing the runner Steenbach towards third base, and once he picked off and went back, he had no one to throw to.
And Steenbach's right back at it.
Ground ball hit towards short. Bees over to first, and Seamson has it for the second out of the inning, and there's 2 gone.
Just an excellent job by Beast there, staying focused, staying down on that ball. He had a runner, some interference in front of him there. It was able to stay focused, make a clean play, delivery over to first.
You see in our Bank of the Valley instant replay, just out of the corner of your screen, you could see Steenbach got over to third base. Beast thought about it. He took a half glance at third, took the easy out. 2-out runner on third here for R.J. Gunderson. First pitch, check swing, but he went.
Steenbach's done an excellent job working the bases thus far. Got that steal, but right there was able to kind of get in front of the shortstop but not get hit by the ball, and also advance himself 90 feet to third base.
Dribble down the third base line, 0-2. So for the first time today, Ryan Malone ahead 0-2, and he's already got 3 strikeouts in his first 8 batters faced, looking to make it 4 here and get out of another jam. Runner on third with 2 outs. Kick and deal.
There he
Upstairs,
is.
1 and 2.
Excuse me, there's Malone, using that kind of a hesitation there in the middle of his windup. Sometimes he'll use the quick pitch, other times he'll really be deliberate up there. These hitters, there it is, that real quick delivery. If you're a batter, you got to be ready.
Pitch count, or excuse me, not pitch count, pitch clock type baseball.
Right.
2 balls, 2 strikes, as there are 2 gone and a runner on third here in the second. The 2-2 off the plate for a ball, 3-2. Second inning is brought to you in part by Sartor Heyman. Stop into their location in Lincoln or Grand Island and help your jewelry dreams come true. Full count. A 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A 4th strikeout in 2 innings pitched by Ryan Malone. He came into this one with none so far. He's got 4 here this evening. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Still no score from Omaha.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people, we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
Life is a wild ride. It's important to have a trusted partner along the way. Liberty First Credit Union exists to provide its members with affordable financial services. Whether it is a large purchase, a new car or home remodel, overcoming obstacles, or chasing your dreams, financing life is what we do best. Give us a call or visit libertyfirstcu.com.
Trace Mahachik out of Doane, Jackson Van Pelt from Buena Vista, and Jake Butler also out of Buena Vista due up here for the Royal Blue Dogs in their half of the second inning. No runs, 3 hits, no errors, and they've stranded 2 in scoring position. That's the Omaha Black Sox line. No runs, a hit, no errors for the Blue Dogs.
You mentioned 2 young men out of Buena Vista here going to bat 2 and 3 for us. That's another thing with the Corn Belt League. a lot of these teams, you'll see multiple players from Doane, Wayne State, you know, teams we already cover, but they get to further build that team chemistry during the offseason throughout their summer collegiate league, an opportunity that's really not, you know, available in other type leagues such as this.
First pitch was a low strike to Trace Mahachik. That one in the dirt bounces off the right foot of Azevedo behind the plate, 1-1. Yeah, you mentioned it, Andy. I mean, just due up here in the second, Doane and a pair of Buena Vista players.
Right.
So those are all within 2 hours of this location.
And Doane has been playing some fantastic baseball. Made another postseason run this season, just stacking up wins left and right. I think they might have got to that 40 win mark.
They did indeed.
This past season.
High ball in the upper corner, 2-1. Kick and deal from Dylan Novotny. One low and away, 3 balls and a strike. Novotny did surrender a hit as Luke Bees drove one to the left field corner, but it was a good throw-in by DeMauro to second base, and he pegged him on his way to trying to extend a single into a double. So he hasn't allowed a base runner yet. This one lifted down the right field line, but foul, and the count runs full.
Yeah, and really both pitchers, both starting pitchers here, Malone and Novotny, got to feel a little fortunate here because the Black Sox have had a guy on third base both innings. You mentioned the leadoff almost double, but a great throw from left fielder really negated that. So both pitchers getting a little bit of help from the defense and maybe some questionable base running early on.
First walk issued by either side, and it's the dreaded leadoff walk as Mahachik draws ball 4 on a full count pitch, and it brings up Jackson Van Pelt, the designated hitter. First base runner allowed by Novotny tonight.
I say that's what you like to see as a DH. Have that leadoff walk right in front of you. A couple ducks on the pond.
This one lifted foul, 0-1. Van Pelt looking for his first hit of the postseason, or of the summer season, I should say. 0 for 2, but he's got 3 runs scored in the first 3 games played for the Blue Dogs. Swing and a miss, down 0-2. Beautiful curveball.
Really is. He also has looks a little bit like a slider, maybe a little bit of a sinker, but it really ducks from left to right. A lot of times they'll fall off the plate, but the hitters make up their mind a little early on that. They're swinging it air.
Novotny's 0-2, again lifted foul. Yeager over at first, trying to keep base runner Trace Mahachik right there. Mahachik, not much of a steal threat. He's got 1 stolen base on the season.
It's still early, Jay.
It is.
Only
it is.
2, 3
3
games into the season.
TJ Silliman has 6 for the Blue Dogs, so that's a pretty good clip.
It's always interesting to look at the makeup of a team and, you know, who puts a lot of stock into running the bases, what teams just like to get up there and mash. It's always fun to see the different styles kind of go at it.
Ball 2 strikes. That one off the plate.
Dylan Novotny put a little extra oomph into that one, lost his hat throughout the windup.
One ball, 2 strikes. Runner on first with a walk.
Ooh.
And this one gets to the backstop, and Mahachik is going to get down to second with ease. So both teams get their leadoff man aboard and both to second by the next batter here in the second inning.
Boy, and Van Pelt did a heck of a job getting himself out of harm's way. Got his head ducked down just at the last second. My goodness.
2 balls, 2 strikes. We'll see if that affects Van Pelt at all with a runner on second here. A little bit of like head music, chin music. I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, he got out of the way. Mentioned as a Doane Tiger now, played his high school ball at Bellevue West.
2-2 sinker low, and the count is full. Second time in as many batters that Novotny's gotten himself in a full count situation. The last time it was a walk to Trace Mahachik, who now stands on second after a wild pitch. Full count. Back-to-back walks to start the second inning here for Royal Blue Dogs as they get 2 on, but not what Novotny wanted to see after a really stellar first half.
No, and you got to give a lot of credit there to Van Pelt, really working the count, being disciplined at the plate, and then drawing the walk. And just to clarify, it's Mahachik. That's the old Bellevue West grad that plays for Doane. You mentioned that earlier. I kind of said that there in a spot where I might have been talking about the batter.
Right. First pitch to Jake Butler, the right fielder out of Buena Vista. He fouls that one off the fence straight behind home plate, 0-1.
Good cut. Butler was thinking RBI with that cut, not wasting any time trying to get one across home plate.
Both runners aboard via the walk, the 0-1. This one bounces off Azevedo's foot, and that'll probably go down as another wild pitch there to Novotny, and it brings runners into second and third, Andy, with nobody out.
Yeah, Azevedo's having a really tough time with that low pitch. Just a good timeout being taken by Coach Peyton Stockwell. You know, calm things down. Nothing's across the plate yet.
And how do you kind of manage these sort of mound visits in a summer league? I mean, obviously these games have not insignificant level of importance, but they've got a different sense of importance. So what do you kind of tell a pitcher that you might not even know very well either?
Well, first things first, this is still baseball, and we're trying to win a game. So right now, we're trying to minimize damage. You know, if we get a cleanly fielded ball, you know, inside, look back the runner, deliver to first base. Let's get an out. Let's get something on the ground. You know, let's work that ground ball. Let's generate an out here and help out our pitcher. Defense is here, and Novotny, it kind of feels like he's trying to work for that strikeout, and he's using all these different pitches. And I would say too many of them are low in the zone, and they're kind of getting away right now from the catcher Azevedo. So, like, pound the zone, trust your defense, let's generate an out.
1 ball, 1 strike. The count now to Jake Butler, and he pops one up on the infield. Leinbach is over there. He makes the catch, and there's now a big first out on the scoreboard.
And that's exactly what Dylan Novotny did. Just threw one right down the pipe, didn't waste any time, delivered the fastball, got that key first out, pop out in the infield.
So now that brings up Garrett Simpson out of Mount Marty. One of 4 different Mount Marty players in this lineup for the Royal Blue Dogs here tonight.
Yep, as we mentioned, they get to kind of continue to work on that team chemistry throughout the summer, through this summer league. It's a pretty cool opportunity, really.
1-0 the count. This one outside, 2-0. So after a couple of walks and a pop-up, Novotny gets behind 2-0. He walked the first 2 batters in the inning, and they're standing on second and third. We've seen Malone get himself out of jams. We'll see if Novotny can do the same. 2-0 low and away, and he's behind 3-0.
And this is really tough. This is where I might consider, if I'm the third base coach, give the Lumber the green light. You got 2 ducks on the pond here. If he gets something he feels he can handle, try and drive it out of the infield.
3-0. And he did swing 3-0, but he swung through a changeup, and it's 3-1.
Really nice job by Novotny, changing gears, kind of playing a trick on the old batter.
Simpson playing in just his 2nd game of the season in his first plate appearance, and he draws a walk in his first trip to the plate, and it loads the bases with 1 out in the 2nd for the Royal Blue Dogs.
And Simpson's a young man that a lot of folks around the area, the Omaha Greater Metro area, recognize, because Garrett played his ball at Papio, and they play some pretty good baseball at the high school level, not too far from here.
Most teams, this Omaha area, I mean, obviously Lincoln East in Class A was the team to beat this year, but there's a lot of talent.
Right. Boy, and you see that when you start looking up and down the rosters, not just within the Corn Belt League and all these college rosters and how many of these kids are from Nebraska, but, I mean, you start looking at some of the D1 rosters, too. Yeah. I think of the, Creighton Blue Jays, obviously, the Huskers, but throughout the Big Ten, throughout the ACC.
Clayton Lewitt fouled off the first one, down 0-1. This one chopped towards third. They'll take the force out at home. And that'll be the second out of the inning as Louette gets on first base, but out at home is Mahachik. So fielder's choice there. Runners on first, second, and third once again.
Eklund took quick care of that chopper up around his head, above his head there, delivered a really nice ball to home plate, knew exactly where he was going to go with it once he had it, and that was just a nice, easy play to save a run.
You know, it's not every time you have 7-4 and 5-2 on your scorebook, but we have that so far in the first 2 innings here.
And where it matters most, 0-0.
Exactly right. Cannon Dumont comes in, the catcher for the Royal Blue Dogs. Bases loaded with 2 gone. The pitch to Dumont. Swings through a fastball and count evens at 1.
And Novotny's just a couple pitches away from getting himself out of a jam here. You don't see that too often where you walk 3 batters and you're able to still get out of it unscathed.
Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Oh boy. This
like
would be
putting one in the water in golf and being able to have a putt for par.
Right. 3 putt to victory after putting it in the drink.
There you go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll see if that's what Novotny's able to do here. Can he save par on 1-2? And it's just low, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That was close. I think if I was Dumont, I might have took a hack at that one, thinking I need to protect with 2 strikes.
Novotny looking for his first strikeout, and it'll be a big one to get out of this bases-loaded jam after 2 walks in the inning. The 2-2. Upstairs, boy, another close call. Home plate umpire says it's a full count, 3-2.
Give Dumont a lot of credit. Eagle eye at the plate here.
Still no hits in the inning by the Royal Blue Dogs. All of this via the walk. The 3-2, called strike 3. There were 3 close ones. That one was up in the air, but the home plate umpire says it's close enough, and he gets out of the inning, does Dylan Novotny.
After 2 innings of play, there's no score between the Black Sox and Royal Blue Dogs.
It all started long ago, with cattle in mind, and it's still the major focus today of Powder River Livestock Handling Equipment and your friends at Valley Vet Supply in Marysville. They want to provide you with the best equipment. That's why they sell Powder River. It truly does stand the test of time. Powder River is a name you can trust. From cattle handling systems to gates and feeders, Powder River makes equipment for life. Come see for yourself at Valley Vet Supply on Highway 36 in Marysville.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Certified Piedmontese Beef, Real Nebraska Beef, Region 4 Behavioral Health System, affordable, accessible, quality mental health and substance abuse services, and by Schaefer's. We're more than just TVs and appliances.
It's in our passion. It's in our achievements. It's in our architecture and our heritage. It's in the way we innovate and discover. It's how we engage and inspire. It's time to experience it for yourself. Peru State College. See what's in it for you.
Boy, Dylan Novotny got himself out of one heck of a jam, Andy Klassen. Bases loaded twice after 2 walks, and he still got out of it unscathed and got his first strikeout.
I mean, he walked the leadoff batter, then walked 2 behind him and was still able to get out of it unscathed. Had a really nice infield out that got the force at home, and then the key strike out the side and keep this thing not up at 0-0.
0-1 the count to Cody Hydronic. 0-1, that one low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cody Heinrich playing his ball in the Lincoln area, Nebraska Wesleyan, also high school ball, Papillion La Vista. Former Monarch.
Just another one of those area kids we've been talking about. 2 balls, 1 strike. To the Wesleyan product, the 2-1 up the middle, and it is down in front of Louette in center field for a leadoff single. And for the second straight inning, The Black Sox put the leadoff man aboard via a base hit.
Boy, and Cody really squared that one up perfectly. Just drove it right back at the pitcher into center field. Almost like he was sitting on that fastball.
Here comes Nick DeMonte. Check over to first base. Hitternick back in time. DeMonte, the York College product, 0 for 1 tonight with a strikeout. He was the first strikeout victim of the season for Ryan Malone.
I like the idea of trying to manufacture a run here, work a leadoff guy on over to second base. Able to pull the bat back, though, as it was, you know, it was well out of the zone. It was high.
Monty comes into this one batting .667 on the year.
And now the script kind of changes a little bit here, maybe, with an 0-2. You know the pitcher's got to bring you something here that's hittable. You stick with the bunt, or do you try and drive something?
2-0 the count. That one in there for a strike, 2-1.
And DeMonte obviously thought that was a little off the plate. Not the case, according to tonight's umpire.
Count evens at 2. Malone goes back to the fastball there. Looking for strikeout number 5.
Appeared to have a little movement on that fastball, too. I don't know, it kind of caught Nick DeMonte just kind of looking at it.
A 2-2 with a runner on. Foul ball off the plate on a little bit of a half swing. DeMonte with 3 base hits on the season. He's got 1 extra base hit, and that's a double. He's walked 3 times and struck out twice.
And you can see why. Does a really nice job extending his at-bats there, able to get a little lumber on the ball there to save this at-bat and foul one off with 2 strikes.
2-2. Grounder hit towards third. Hotcheck will take the easy out at second. They throw on to first, looking for the double play, and the ball bounces away from Simonson over at first, so that's going to put DeMonte over on second. But an out goes up on the board, but a runner in scoring position here for the Royal Blue Dog, or excuse me, for the Black Sox.
Yeah, and that was going to be a tough play for Will Johnson over there at second base. You know, he kind of had to throw one across his body. Feet weren't really set, and it just got away from him here.
Almost rushing the double play, you got to think.
Yep. It was going to be tough no matter what, the way DeMonte kind of slapped that one down the third baseline.
1 out, and it's our first error of the ball game as DeMonte stands on second. 0-1 the count now to Dylan Fuller. He's 1 for 1, his first hit of the year coming back in the first, or of the summer, I should say. He doubled to the left field corner. It's the second batter in the ball game.
Well, and here's an opportunity for Fuller to, you know, punch in a RBI, runner at second base. You mentioned how it's 4-10 to dead center. You got pretty good gaps here between left and right field to work with.
1-2 the count. Shot towards right field. Butler is there, and staying put at second base is DeMonte. So a line out to right, and there's 2 gone.
Oh, man, that's the most frustrating thing as a hitter. You square one up, you drive it, you know, in the outfield, but it's right at one of the outfielders.
It's the second out of the inning. Precisely what happened there as Fuller drives one to Jake Butler in right. And that brings up Dominic DeMauro. 1 for 1 with an infield single. First pitch.
Oh.
Swings at 1 in the dirt, 0-1.
Did not get what he was looking for on that first pitch.
The 0-1. Outside, ball and a strike.
Nice job by DeMauro there, laying off that second pitch. Coming in hot on the first one, as you mentioned, kind of chased one down in the dirt, able to regather himself and take the next 2 pitches here. Get back on top of the count.
2 balls, 1 strike, the count now. 2 outs, runner on second after a throwing error. And the second baseman, Johnson. The 2-1, swing and a miss, 2-2.
It just feels like Malone can always go back to that off-speed pitch, that change-up pitch. That keeps those batters just off balance enough.
And it's worked. 4 strikeouts. Looking to make it 5 to end the inning. Chopper to the mound. Malone gloves it, underhands to first, and that is the top of the 3rd. A runner stranded on second by the Black Sox, but that's all. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. This is Corn Belt Baseball on News Channel Nebraska.
We're here at the grill, waiting for the flip.
He has a great hot lie here on the grill. Looks like he is going with the tongs here, Jim. A great choice.
Timing is everything.
Nailed it!
A flip for the ages.
What a flip. Perfect marks. I'd take a slice out of that one.
Certified Piedmontese, real Nebraska beef. So tender and dripping in flavor, you won't believe a steak this good can be shipped right to your front door.
At Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN, listening to you to create an individualized healthcare plan that fits your needs and preferences is our top priority. Whether you need an annual checkup, specialized gynecology care, or pregnancy management, we partner with you to provide expert care using advanced practices, technology, and techniques. Faith Regional Physician Services OBGYN. Care on your terms is the Faith difference.
There you see it, the Corn Belt League, the famous Corn Belt League logo here at J.J. Isaacson Field. No score as we are through 2.5, getting ready for the bottom of the 3rd. Ben Revelling, T.J. Silliman, and Luke Bees do up 10, 1, and 2 for the Royal Blue Dogs. That's an interesting part of this league. You get 10 batters, you get extra baseball.
You're exactly right. Well, it's conducive for the hitters. They're going to get their ABs, their at-bats. It's conducive for the pitchers as, you know, no one's going to get stretched too far. They're on a pitch count. They're limited. You know, it really delivers. If you're a college baseball coach, this is the type of league, off-season league, that you want your players to be a part of. For just like those reasons you mentioned right there, Jake. And you got to think both of these offenses got to be a little frustrated, right? They've had plenty of guys in scoring positions throughout these first 2 and 3 innings, and both squads here have come up 0. We still got goose eggs on the scoreboard.
Makes it easier to keep score, that's for sure.
What's that?
Makes it easier to keep score in the old scorebook. 0-1 is grounded towards the middle of the infield. The throw is in time. What a beautiful job by Steenbach over at shortstop, moving to his left, and he makes a long throw in motion.
Look at the exchange here from glove to hand, and the little sidearm with some sizzle behind it. Just in time.
You see it, it was a good call by the first base umpire, just in time, as you said, Andy Klassen, and it brings up T.J. Silliman, who's 0 for 1, the Northwestern College product. A pop-up on the outfield. This time it's a pop-up behind home plate. Novotny is there. 3 pitches, 2 outs to start the 3rd inning.
And that's helping yourself right there, because Azevedo, the catcher, he was lost. He had no idea where that was. Good on Dylan Novotny, charging in on it, making the play, like I said, from the mound. That's such a big part of baseball, that all those great pitchers you hear of, Greg Maddux, you know, comes to mind, Jamie Moyer from back in my day, they all could play defense from the mound at just such an elite level.
Brings up Luke Bees, our shortstop for the Royal Blue Dogs. Swing and a miss at a strike. Our 3rd inning is brought to you in part by Faith Regional Physician Services. When hard work hits you hard, have faith. 0-1, swing and a miss at a fastball. 0-2, Bees with a big cut. He was swinging for the fences. Instead, he's down 0-2.
He was a little behind it. Novotny kind of dialed that one up a little bit.
Novotny takes something off there, misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So far, a ground out to short, a nice throw by Steenbach over to first, and a pop-up on the infield make up the 2 outs. Here's another pop-up on the infield towards the right side. Peterman's under there, and he makes the catch behind the bag at second, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Novotny and the Black Sox. We'll head to the 4th, still no score from J.J. Isaacson Field.
From the moment you realized you needed ongoing care,
to the long conversations with loved ones and the scare of having to leave the home you've lived in for so many years, to the moment you realized you didn't have to meeting your caregiver for the first time and those initial fears turning into new friendships, to the moment you felt more supported than you have in a really long time.
Thank you.
We've been here for you, just around the corner. Columbus Community Hospital.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. If your business needs help financing big-ticket items, visit gocurrency.com for details. And by Custom Sports. Represent your school and look good doing it with Custom Sports.
Welcome back to J.J. Isaacson Field as we get ready for the top of the fourth inning. Got a new pitcher in the ball game, but before we tell you about that, we want to welcome to the broadcast booth Joe Siwa, Commissioner of the Corn Belt League. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Great to see you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah,
Thanks
absolutely.
for being here.
So tell us a little bit more. I mean, this is obviously Andy and News Channel Nebraska's been here a lot, but tell us a little bit more about the Corn Belt League and all the great things it does.
Yeah, it's a vision come true, something we've been working on for years, and going into the 7th season for the Corn Belt League. I think where we're at right now, and that's putting a good product on the field of kids that want to play baseball and want to develop over the summer months in a good competitive league, and that's what we're trying to do, and we're excited to have it going for the boys and for the community. Really, that's what it's for. It's here. Omaha's a great place to play baseball. We got a lot to offer these kids, and we're glad they're taking advantage of it.
So the day is done for Ryan Malone. He goes 3 innings, allowing 4 hits, no runs. He struck out 4. The new pitcher in the ball game is Caden Barton, who comes on for the 2nd time this season. Only pitched a third of an inning, but he allowed 2 runs. So he's got an ERA of 70 right now. We'll see if he can turn that around here. But Joe, I hear you guys have some neat events coming up with the Corn Belt League, especially one on July 3rd.
You know, we're excited about that. Last year when we were in Wichita playing in the national tournament there, the military War Dogs team was there, and they gave us a call in the off season and said, hey, we'd like to come to Omaha and play, and we have a traveling team that goes all over the country, and we think it would be a great spot to stop and maybe honor a hero here in Omaha, Nebraska. And we thought the same thing. We thought, you know what, it'd be nice to have you here. It's Independence Day coming up, and let's host you and make this a big celebration of what everyone has done for us to be able to go out and play the game of baseball day in, day out.
When it won the count to McCook Community College's Jackson Yeager. He's 0 for 1, made the 2nd out of the 1st inning when he popped up on the infield. 1 ball, 1 strike. Basically, couldn't ask for a better night for baseball.
Oh, this is gorgeous, and I hope it's like that for the July 3rd game. I'm telling you what, we'd like to have the community support it and be out here and support the veterans and support all these players that are going to be representing their family members that are in the military as well. So it's going to be a thrill, and we have a great coach, a veteran coach here, that is going to be heading up the team, and he's honored to do this against these boys.
And that coach, I believe, is one of them that's in this game right now, and that's Vern Hasty.
Coach of the Blue Dogs here, and Vern, we're glad to have him. He's a 25-year veteran coach that's been around for a while and really wanted to be a part of our program this year after I told him what our vision was and what the team's philosophy and the league philosophy is all about. It was right up his alley. I mean, he's coached college baseball for many years, and he said, you know what, this is what should be going on in the summertime for kids. Our goal is to give them experience, something to take back home to their families, and 20 years down the road, they can tell their kids that they played here in Omaha.
2 balls, 2 strikes, as that one is deemed a ball high. 3-2, first time we have seen Caden Barton in the ball game this evening. He comes in again in relief of Ryan Malone, who lasted 3 innings. Shutout ball, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts. We canceled out the hits with K's, and it's a leadoff walk for Barton as he drops a sinker low of Yeager, and the leadoff man aboard here for the Blue Dogs. Again, we're talking with Joe Siwa, Commissioner of the Corn Belt League, and you talked about this being a dream come true, this Corn Belt League. I mean, how did you guys kind of come up with this vision? Because it's different than a lot of summer baseball leagues in the respect that a lot of these guys are local. They could sleep in their own beds a lot of times.
Yeah, exactly. You know, in 1997, when I finished my pro career with the Twins, my brother called me up and says, we're going to start a league in Omaha called the Mink League. And he was a part of it bringing Nebraska into that. So MINK stands for Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas. So we represented Nebraska having a team here, and there was one out of Beatrice. And we competed in that league for 4 or 5 years that we ran that squad. I served more as a player coach, mentor to the kids, and it was a great opportunity to give back some of what I learned through my professional career. Had a great time doing it, but man, it was hectic being on the road 4 or 5 hours, driving back, different times. It was tough to hold down a job for a lot of the college guys because they're just exhausted being on the road. So we thought, you know what, let's try to do something right here in Omaha where we can stop that travel, make sure that they have places to work, make a little money on the side, and play baseball and have a good summer.
Novotny grounds one to second on a sacrifice, so Yeager moves over to second. That's the first out of the inning. Going back to this July 3rd opportunity that you guys have, I mean, there's obviously a lot of events going on July 4th weekend. Why is it important to make sure people get out to that event and see? Because obviously you want to honor the veterans and all that deal, but good baseball too.
It's going to be great baseball, and it's going to be a thrill to watch. But they're going to be honoring a soldier out here. They're going to be have the full color guard out here, and we're inviting all veterans, military, anyone to come out and just see the product on the field. If you have a youth player, to bring them out to the ballpark and just watch the game, it's the closest you're going to get to this level of play on the field. So it's just going to be a fun night. We're doing it on the 3rd because that's normally when we have our all-star game, and we thought we'd delay that 1 week just for this special event, and it makes more sense to do that. And we are going to hold the corn cob eating contest still, and we're going to hold Andy to it to be a part of that again, maybe
Andy did the corn cob eating contest.
He was a trooper in the corn cob eating contest.
How many corn cobs did Andy Klassen eat?
I think he got that corn cob down in less than 30 seconds, if I'm not
mistaken.
Wow!
So it's timed. It's not how many you eat. Is it timed?
It's chew every kernel off that cob, first one down. And we had him out there representing the television, and we had umpires involved, and players, coaches, fans. It was a fun contest that we did, and we're going to bring that back again this year, along with a few other events throughout the ball game.
Now that's Nebraska for you. Corn cob eating contest.
Nebraska.
That's awesome on 4th of July weekend. 3-1 upstairs to Steenbach. He takes ball 4, so runners on first and second with 1 away here. We're talking with Joe Siwa, the commissioner of this phenomenal Corn Belt League, which is on News Channel Nebraska tonight. Blue Dogs, Black Sox, still no score as we work the top of the 4th inning. Joe, I heard you said you did some time with the Twins. What'd you do up there with Minnesota?
I did. I had a 5-year stint with them playing some baseball, and I got to see a lot of the country traveling professionally, and it was a great experience. I mean, the connections that you make and the boys you connect with throughout the years, it's what baseball's all about. And it's the hard work that you put in and the dedication to what you're doing, and that's what these kids are doing right here, and that's what we're trying to pass on to them. Not only playing on the field, but off-field activities. These kids, a lot of these are involved in our summer youth camps that we have going on throughout June and July at the Strike Zone, and these kids are participating on passing on some good fundamentals to young players. Also with these kids, we put on a Dale Carnegie Leadership Workshop, which I thought was an excellent twist to our league. I think one of the biggest things is developing leaders on the field, and something that they're going to carry with them the rest of their life.
So, you mentioned traveling around the country to play the game of baseball. Favorite park or part of the country to play?
Professionally, it was my favorite. Well, when I got up to AAA, I really liked Portland, Oregon. It was a neat opportunity to play there, even though it was raining quite a bit. But I tell you, the ballpark was beautiful, and the fan base was excellent. And it's always fun to play in front of fans. And the more you can get out to the ballpark, the energy here is incredible. And baseball's a great game. I mean, it's something that has given me so much throughout my life, and I want to continue passing it on to the players as well.
Alkin strikes out for our second out of the inning. Joe Azevedo comes in. He comes into this one 0 for 1 with a ground out to shortstop coming back in the second inning. I heard you talking a little bit earlier. I mean, you guys are still in your first week or two, I believe, of Corn Belt League, but you've had some great crowds. Said you had a lot of kids running around last couple of weeks. So people have been coming out. Why should people continue to keep coming out?
You know, you come out here to watch these kids grind and put their time in and put their effort in. This
This good gentleman right here was in the strike zone today, taking, I think, 100, 150 swings off the tee. He knows what he has to work on. When he left his exit interview with his college coach, they told him what he needed to do, and he's putting that time in doing it. And that's all you can ask out of anybody, is get out there, do the work, and good things will happen down the road. So.
And that's just so cool about these leagues, is it's you know, obviously you want to win, but it's also just an opportunity, and it's an opportunity with baseball I don't think a lot of other sports have, where you can still be competing every single day like you do during your regular season, but you're also getting your fundamentals better too.
It's exactly right. You know, you get those fundamentals solid and everything like that, and next thing you know, it becomes this mental game that you got to believe in yourself and the skills that you've worked on and what you did is right, and you get out there and you show your team. And again, it's a team game, so everybody's got to do their part to make it happen, and you see the camaraderie in the dugout, and I think that's what gives us the most joy here at the end of the season when the kids are departing away from Omaha. Just the friendships that they've built throughout the 2 months of being here in Omaha, not only with the players, but with the fans and with their host parents that are here. And that's a big part of it. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be getting 50 out-of-state players to come to Omaha to look for a family to live with and be here and want to be in Omaha.
Third walk of the inning, and the bases are loaded all of a sudden. And Joe, you talked a little bit about your time in baseball, but you got the bases loaded situation here with 2 outs. What's the game plan if you're a pitcher?
Yeah, right now, you know what, you got to compete. You got to stay within your abilities and not overthrow and locate the pitch. Pitching is all about location, and he needs to get ahead in the count. And he knows this hitter's probably going to be taking this pitch, is what I'm assuming here as well. So I hope that he can work himself out of it. 2 outs, players are getting back on their heels a little bit. Can't happen. So we tell these kids, you know, you got to go pitch by pitch. Everything is pitch by pitch right here. So let's hope he can get ahead in the count and get himself out of this jam. But we've had great ball games. This is an incredible league. The teams are evenly matched here, and we hope it goes down to the wire. The whole idea with this league is, there we go. What a beautiful play right there. Laid out there.
Right over to Machacek at third base. He was able to stay in his lane and pick it up and get on the tag at third. And it ends the inning. We stay scoreless, don't we, Joe?
Yeah,
Joe, we appreciate you joining the broadcast.
One
more time, July 3rd.
July 3rd, Military War Dogs. Come out and support college baseball in Omaha, fans.
All right, we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. This is Corn Belt League Baseball on NCN.
At Farmers Pride, we are proud to work with agricultural producers, commercial businesses, and homeowners. As a farm supply and grain marketing cooperative, we are proud to serve the region's needs of grain, feed, agronomy, energy, and transportation for over 80 years. We help the farmers who feed the world by providing the people, products, and programs to deliver solutions for our customers' success. Farmers Pride, in the field, on your farm, in your community.
No score as we work the bottom of the 4th inning. The second time tonight a team has left the bases loaded with 1 out as Andy Klassen rejoins the broadcast. Andy, I think you got to listen a little bit to our conversation with Joe Siwa. But, boy, fans, get out here July 3rd. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun. The Military War Dogs traveling baseball team. And, I mean, we're here because of the freedoms that the military, you know, all branches fight for. So just what a great way to honor all 5 branches is to get out on the old diamond and play some baseball, you know, night before the 4th of July.
Yep, no doubt. Novotny stays in the ball game, gets the first batter, swing at the first pitch, and Johnson pops out to second base, and it brings in Trice Machacek, who made one heck of a play at third base. Bases loaded, all on walks. He was able to turn around, scoop up the ball, step on the bag.
Yeah, bang, bang play. And, I mean, something's got to bounce your way when you deliver that many walks, but you're still able to secure the
This one's looped to center field, and that's down for a hit.
I still like what Dylan Novotny's doing from the bump right now. He's attacking the strike zone, really trying to hammer in a lot of strikes, especially early in the count, get on top of these hitters. That time, just a really nice piece of hitting, getting one to go right up the center of the field over the second baseman's head.
So that now brings up Jackson Van Pelt, the designated hitter. We're going to have a pinch runner here as well, it appears, for Machachik. And that coming in to do the pinch running appears to be Carson Krogelski out of Buena Vista. So another local product there, Andy Klassen.
Yep, another guy taking his talents to the next level for Buena Vista. We're talking about they're able to grow that team chemistry during the offseason. Kind of a unique opportunity here throughout the Corn Belt League.
Fourth inning is brought to you in part by John Henry's Our Family Serving Yours. Still no score, no runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Omaha Black Sox. No runs, 2 hits, 1 error for the Royal Dogs.
Yeah, it's got to be frustrating for these offenses. I mean, they're getting base runners. The table has been set a couple of times, especially for the Black Sox. Didn't they have runners at third base those first 2 innings, unable to get a guy 90 more feet? That's how she goes.
Stranded 7 runners on base, with 5 of those in scoring position, 3 on third.
And we've seen some good defense, too. You mentioned it, close out the end of that last half inning. Phenomenal play in the hot corner there at third base. We also seen a couple of plays from the middle infield, is really from both fields, both teams.
Ball's 1 strike. Grounder hit towards second. Goodman up with it, throws on to first, and that is out number 2. But it does move Machachik, or excuse me, who's being pinch run for in that situation. He moves the runner over to second base. So a runner on second in scoring position. We'll see if the Blue Dogs are able to do something with it here.
Jake Butler with another RBI opportunity for the Royal Blue Dogs. I think what a lot of guys have made the adjustment for, they're sitting on that opening fastball here from Novotny. They're looking for something over the plate. You see a lot of first pitch swings here from the Blue Dogs last couple of innings.
Krogelski on second.
Able to lay off low and inside, but he still turned like he wanted to take that cut.
One ball, no strikes. Lights have come on here at J.J. Isaacson Field. 1-0, 2-0.
Butler plays a little outfield and infield for the Royal Blue Dogs, a versatile defender. Always nice to have in your back pocket.
The 2-0. Check swing. And he went around, or it was a strike. I think that was probably more he went around than it was a strike.
I think you're exactly right. It would have been a 3-0. Now it's a 2-1, completely different scenario.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. A runner on second. Butler turns away, and a count moves to 3 balls and a strike.
You can just see the spin of that ball is just so much different when he goes to that changeup, maybe a little bit of an off-speed curveball type of look.
Trevor Storer loosening in the bullpen on the right side of the field and heading down for third. Getting there safely is Krogelski, but it's not going to matter because that's ball 4 and it's runners on the corners.
Well, it is going to matter because he was able to get himself to third base 90 feet closer.
But it puts runners on the corners. It does bring, you still have the double play situation there.
Right, and that's what you were making mention of there. Right. But with 2 outs, that's huge, getting yourself 90 feet closer. So give the pinch runner a lot of credit for getting a good jump. Kind of a big moment there. It could turn into a huge moment if he's able to, motor home here, depending on what Garrett Seisman does. Mentioned it earlier, played his high school ball at Papillion.
Seamson, no official at bat tonight. He walked back in the second inning. Novotny comes set. Runners on the corners. Seamson swings through a fastball down 0-1.
And this is where Novotny, I like his confidence because he he would rather walk a guy rather than give him a meatball. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He has got a lot of confidence in his stuff. So rather than giving up some RBIs or extra RBIs, extra base hit, he's going to keep the batters guessing. He's going to use all of his pitches.
No balls, 1 strike. Kick and deal. Big sweeping curveball, and it's 0-2.
And you could just see Heisman just mistimed that one. Boy, now Novotny can really go to the well here. All of his different pitches are in play.
Novotny with just 1 strikeout this evening, and that one off the plate, 1-2. And now heading down for second base and getting there safely is Jake Butler. He picks up his 3rd stolen base of the season, and it brings the double play out of the situation. If there was a situation for the double play, runners on second and third. But base hit now makes this a 2-0 game.
Exactly, and give the Royal Blue Dogs a lot of credit. The way they've been working the base path, this is a good time out here. I want to talk things over defensively between pitcher and catcher. But it doesn't always happen for you, and that's been the case thus far here tonight. You know, you can get to second, get to third, but you still got to get those 90 more precious feet to get home, manufacture a run. That's where the problems have come, but it's not due to, you know, lackadaisical base running. Royal Blue Dogs have been aggressive when they need to be aggressive. They've been getting themselves in RBI situations. It just hasn't happened quite yet.
No balls, 2 strikes, and that one is called strike 3. It's just the 2nd strikeout of the ball game for Novotny and the Black Sox, but it again neutralizes a threat. 4 innings down, still goose eggs on the scoreboard. We'll head to the 5th.
The Heart and Vascular team at Faith Regional Cardiovascular Institute has spent the last 22 years focused on providing the highest level of heart care possible. With over 24,000 patients seen in the last 2 years alone, we know cardiac care by heart. Today, we offer the most advanced practices and technology to patients in 11 local communities, ensuring easier access to cardiology services. With specialists focusing on heart failure, vascular diseases, thoracic surgery, abnormal heart rhythms, and general cardiology, you can count on our heart experts to collaborate to provide you with the best care possible. Faith Regional Cardiovascular Institute, keeping a pulse on the hearts of Nebraska for over 2 decades, is the Faith difference.
Welcome back to J.J. Isaacson Field as we work through the 5th inning. Andy Klassen, a couple of plays that we've seen so far today. Good plays, good pitching so far.
Really has been. The pitching has come up huge when they need to make an out, get a strikeout. You just saw Novotny there with only his 2nd K, his 2nd punch out of the game, but what in a huge spot. And you saw him kind of quick pitch it out of a timeout, took a short stance, fired one right in the strike zone, inside corner for the K, got himself out of trouble.
Our instant replay brought to you in part by Bank of the Valley. Together we go further, as well as the Beatrice Community Hospital and Health Center. Barton back on the mound. He works his 2nd inning, and the first pitch to Heidernick is in there, outside for a ball, 1-0.
Barton, another one of those former Dragons, that mascot that you like.
I do. That and the Jet. 1-0. Curveball drops in, ball and a strike. Still no action in either bullpen. To our right, however, you do see some loosening going on, and that's Trevor Storer, the Northeast Community College commit, getting loose in the bullpen for the Black Sox. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count to Heidernick.
Looked like Barton dropped that one right in.
2-1. Dumont tried to frame that one and bring it down. It was at the letters, but home plate umpire not fooled. 3 balls and a strike.
Hard left.
A 3-1. That one Went in there for a strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So the third time in the first inning and a third, if you will, that Barton has pitched. He's run the count full. 3-2. Chopper foul.
Just kind of feels like an unorthodox windup, doesn't it? Where he comes over the top of that arm, kind of a looping effect to it. I think it throws the hitters off just a little bit.
It's 3-2 and a little bit extra after the foul ball. Upstairs and a leadoff walk. So Barton, who works his second inning, starts both with a walk. He was able to get out of the jam in the fourth. We'll have to see how he works around the leadoff walk here in the fifth. Still no score. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Black Sox. No runs, a pair of hits, and an error for the Royal Blue Dogs.
And give Cody Heidenreich, the Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolf, right? A lot of credit for opening that opening walk here.
And here's a grounder hit to DeMonte, and this gets by the shortstop Bees into left center. Fielded by Lewitt in center field, but that puts runners on first and second. And for the first time tonight, since the first inning, back-to-back base hits for the Black Sox.
And DeMonte squared around like he was going to bunt, which we've seen him do before to advance the runner, but then he pulls back, and I think that kind of caused the infield to shift in just a little bit. Then he punched one right by the shortstop. I think him squaring around to bunt had a little bit of to do with him being able to punch one through the infield there for that, as you mentioned, base hit.
Yeah, that was, as we said, the first back-to-back set of hits for the Black Sox since the first inning when Fuller, who's at the plate now, doubled. Was fouled up by an infield single by Dominic DeMauro. Fuller is 1 for 2, a double to the left field corner and a fly out to right.
And this is where if he could get another fly out to right, that would at least advance the runners. He's really just looking to poke something up out into the outfield, you know. Maybe try and find some field, but if nothing else, advance a runner to third base.
First pitch to Fuller's upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Again, Vern Hasty is listed as the head coach for both of these teams. The former Chicago State head is coaching the Blue Dogs tonight. His assistant, Peyton Stockwell, he's coaching the Black Sox. So just another unique piece here as you get coaching perspectives from a few different angles for these players.
Yeah, and you can bet if Mr. Stockwell, kind of the understudy apprentice of head coach Vern Hasty, if he can get a win here, I bet he's going to let the old skipper hear it.
Yeah. And I think they said the next time they play, Vert will go over and he'll coach the Black Sox, and Coach Stockwell will go over and coach the Blue Dogs. A shot to left field here. That's a base hit for Fuller, who now has his second knock of the night. Everybody will stay put, but the bases are loaded. 3 straight base runners for the Black Sox here in the 5th.
Yeah, and that was a good job by Coach Stockwell to hold up the runner at third base. It looked like Henrich didn't have enough of a jump to get this one home. And you know what? It's okay to have bases loaded and no outs. We saw that earlier in the game where the Blue Sox are Royal Blue Dogs were trying to extend a single into a double, got gunned down at second base, kind of took them out of that inning. Not the case here for the Black Sox.
I'm ashamed of myself to say that I've almost said Blue Sox or Black Dogs a number of times. So throw over to first is in time, but that is going to score our first run of the ball game. A single taken away by the infield for the Blue Dogs, but it is an RBI infield base hit that scores a run, and it's a 1-0 Black Sox lead. RBI, Dominic DeMauro.
And DeMauro might have got shaken up a little bit when he touched first base. He's kind of down there. We see it. There we go. He's starting to make his way to the dugout, still taking a moment.
That's his first RBI of the summer. And it's a 1-0 lead. Looks like he's all right. Might have just twisted something as he stepped on the bag.
Yep. And you got to like that aggressive approach. You know, the bases were loaded. He knew all he had to do was get Wood on the ball. And that's exactly what he did, punching one right back up at second base. Good enough for that RBI.
So that puts runners on third with 2 outs on the double play. So how do you like that scenario there, Angie? You got a double play, but you score a run. You take the run, or would you wish you didn't have the double play?
In a game like this, I take the run.
Yeah.
I need that run.
Run's coming at a premium.
Yes, they are.
0-1 the count, and make that now 1 ball, 1 strike to Jackson Yeager, the first baseman.
Mentioned Yeager, young man out of West Side, former Warrior. They call it the district. District 66.
District, yeah. 1-1. This one hit towards shortstop, and it's picked up by Bees, but he can't make the play. Has trouble with it, trying to make the turn to throw. It's going to score a run. We'll see if that goes down as an error. I don't know if it will. Either way, it's a 2-0 lead here for the Black Sox.
That would have been a tough play to make either way. Bees did a really nice job backhanding it, just getting some leather on it, getting his glove on it. He was way deep, though, and I don't know if he would have had enough on that one to get Yeager out.
So puts a runner at first. And they do charge it as a hit. So an RBI infield single for Jackson Yeager. And Caden Barton getting a little gotten to here by the Black Sox in the 5th inning.
Yeah, and it's just kind of been pesky like we're seeing. A couple of infield hits. You just saw one right there, kind of a no man's land between third base and shortstop. Here we go again.
And that one bounces off Dumont. That'll go as a wild pitch, and it moves another runner into scoring position. All this happening with 2 outs, too.
And Novotny gets kind of a freebie attempt here to help himself out as the runner is able to advance to second base. RBI's out there if he can just get a hold of something here.
2-0 the count. 2 down. Popped up on the infield. Johnson at second. Can't make the play on the dirt. The ball drops and a run will score. That one will almost certainly go down as an error, and it is now a 3-0 lead for the Omaha Black Sox.
My goodness, you know, I say it all the time. You put the ball in play, good things will happen, and how fortunate was that? If that would have been, you know, first or second out, that would have been an infield fly rule. Since it was the third out, you still got to make the play as an infield, unable to do so.
So aboard with the error, Novotny. He gets an RBI there as well.
Uh-oh.
And a bat goes flying here, broken bat. Throw over to first is high, and that will put runners on first and second. And I don't think Steenbach is too happy there. He has a pretty upset look on his face as he snapped that bat.
Yeah, that broke right away, got in on his hands. But it just kind of feels like the wheels have come off here a little bit, doesn't it, for the Royal Blue Dogs?
No doubt.
But a clean game up to this point. Now anything and everything seems to be finding its way, making its way to generate another base runner here as the Black Sox put together or continue their 2-out rally.
Back-to-back errors by the Royal Blue Dogs, and it's runners on first and second here in a 3-0 lead. 3 runs, 7 hits for the Black Sox. No runs, a pair of hits, a trio of errors for the Royal Dogs.
And that's where, you know, Barton, the pitcher from Gretna, as we mentioned, God, he did everything right. He got in on the batter, got in on his hands, caused a broken bat, another infield hit.
First pitch to Elkland, fouled off his right leg, 0-1.
Aiden Eklund made a heck of a play over at third base early in this game, if you remember. Young man used to be an Eagle, played for Omaha Central.
Yeah. And how well do you know some of those baseball teams in the Omaha area? It seems, Andy, that you know them fairly well.
Well, yeah, you know, I get into baseball, high school,
Sure.
college baseball, all of it. And there are just some programs, and I guess you'd consider Omaha Central one of them, but West Side, Bellevue West, Lincoln East.
Yep.
I mean, those are teams that not only recently you always see in the newspapers, but they just have a tradition of creating great baseball teams and players that you see then continue their careers on a level like such as this.
And he dropped down to Class B in those ranks. Elkhorn North is a new
Right.
program, but they've won 2 state championships already as this one runs in and gets a piece of Eklund. and that now reloads the bases. But also going off that, I mean, Beatrice, they turned the program around as well. Norris is always up there.
Well,
you know, it's a thing I've always said. I think the baseball talent in Nebraska, a lot of people will talk about the volleyball talent. I think the baseball talent is just as good.
It is. It's right there with it. You mentioned Beatrice and that game that we did earlier this season. I mean, we saw D1 talent both for Waverly and for Beatrice. You also saw it was kind of headlined by Tucker Timmerman, Nebraska Cornhusker recruit.
Vern Hasty makes a call to the bullpen as things have gone a little haywire here in the 5th inning. 3-0 Black Sox. We'll step aside on News Channel Nebraska.
What does farming mean to you? For most, it's hard work, dedication, and livelihood. Unfortunately, that also comes with risk. At Nebraska Crop Insurance in Beatrice, they know the non-stop dedication involved to keep your family protected from that risk and ensure their livelihood. Not only do they know everything about the coverage you need, they're also farmers themselves. So protect what means the most to you with the agent who knows what it means to be a farmer. Nebraska Crop Insurance, 615 Dorsey Street in Beatrice.
At Elkhorn Valley Bank, we believe in local. It's something we live by. It's something we're proud of. It's helping our neighbors grow like they've helped us, supporting families, investing in lives, and creating prosperity. Local means making decisions that grow and improve surrounding communities we call home. Investing in our nonprofits and giving back. Elkhorn Valley Bank and Trust, great for you, great for your community.
Cardiff Smith comes on for the 2nd time this season in one appearance where he pitched 1 innings, faced 9 batters, allowed 4 runs on 3 hits, all 4 of those runs coming earned. He walked 3 batters, struck out 1. Got an ERA right now, and again, this is just in 1 inning, of 28. We'll look to try and stop the bleeding here and get 1 out that the Blue Dogs need here in the 5th inning. He's Andy Klassen. I'm Jake Bartecki. Glad you made us part of your Thursday evening, wherever you might be tuning in for, in Nebraska, worldwide, or nationwide, as it's a 3-0 lead for the Black Sox. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors. And the first pitch from Smith gets to the backstop. The throw to the plate, not in time. Underneath the tag from third base is Novotny, and it is 4-0. And the Omaha Black Sox continue to get runs off of being very opportunistic.
Dumont did a heck of a job making that a play, almost able to get him at the plate. You also got to give the pitcher a little bit of credit for trying to help himself out and get there, just not in time. As you mentioned, Black Sox taking full advantage, being very opportunistic on the base pass here.
So runners on 2nd and 3rd now.
Oh, boy.
And this one's hit high in the air towards left. It gets down for a base hit. 1 run is across. Being waved home is the runner from 2nd, and being tagged out at home plate is Eklund, but they get another run to the Black Sox, and they lead at 5-0 after 5 innings. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors after 5 are put up in the 5th for the Black Sox. No runs, couple of hits, 3 errors for Omaha Royal Blue Dogs. We will head to the bottom of the 5th on NCN.
Women have a 1 in 8 chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology, from screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
Let your next adventure take flight in Sarpy County, Nebraska for some high-flying fun. Legendary family adventures. Out-of-this-world shopping. Star-studded evenings. And award-winning experiences. Our flights are never canceled. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com.
are back at J.J. Isaacson Field. Andy Klassen, and I'm Jake Bartecki as we get ready for the bottom of the 5th inning. Andy Novotny still on the mound. He's on cruise control right now. You got to think that Coach Stockwell is going to leave him out there for as long as he can, now with a good bit of run support as well.
Right, we've seen it a couple of times where he's able to get first pitch outs in previous innings. When you do that, you can kind of extend your game, extend your innings later into the game. But that is one thing that the Corn Belt League's very staunch on. They don't want to wear out any of these arms. They're on a strict pitch count, inning count. But Novotny able to kind of keep his pitch count low here tonight.
Lewitt, first pitch was fouled back. Second one, a blooper to center field. Playable for DeMonte, who comes in and squeezes it for the first out of the inning.
His ankle looks pretty good now, doesn't it?
Looked all right there. He had to run a long way to grab that one.
And you saw how he did that hesitation. He leaned back first, then he turned on the jets and came in on it. Wasn't going to allow anything to get over his head. That's a seasoned center fielder playing ball the right way.
Cannon DeMont comes in. He is 0 for 1. He is just one of 2 strikeout victims, as Novotny has just 2 strikeouts on the night. He struck out looking on a full count pitch to end the second. Kick and deal upstairs, 1-0. The 5th inning brought to you in part by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of your pain, not just the symptoms. 1-0 high and outside, 2-0.
Yeah, you mentioned Novotny only having 2 strikeouts, but that second one was a big one. Got himself out of a huge jam. And he's done a nice job just leaning on his defense, you know.
You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
2-0 fouled straight back, 2-1.
I'd say he's utilized the pop-up out more than just about anything. He's been able to pop up a lot of batters.
50 foot to your left, I would have smacked.
DeMont 0 for 1, batting .500 on the year. 2-1. Sinker call to strike, 2-2. The 2-2.
Off the plate there, seeing if batter would go ahead and get after it. Cannon DeMont not taking the bait. Catcher from Bennington, Nebraska. Old Badger.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and he takes ball 4. So last time he was in a full count situation, DeMont was caught looking. This time the eye works for him, and he draws a walk as Novotny issues his 4th walk of the ballgame. He's been on such good cruise control. That number is a little high, you'd think.
Right. And give DeMont a lot of credit that time, because that was down in on the knees, didn't even consider taking a hack.
First pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Ben Raveling comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1, ground out to shortstop. Coming back in the 2nd inning. Again, 10 batters, so most of these guys have only come to the plate twice. As a matter of fact, all the guys up to this point. In the lineup, the 0-1 in there for a strike, 0-2.
That also helps the old pitching staff and extend their innings a little bit,
Sure.
you know.
Repetition, repetition, repetition.
Doesn't allow a batter to get 3-4 looks at you, you know.
The 0-2 is off the plate for a ball, 1-2. Andy, have you had any good certified Piedmontese beef recently?
I have.
You have. What'd you have?
Sirloin.
Sirloin. And how many ounces? Big
Uh,
one?
I think it was the 8.
The 8?
I think it was the 8 ounce. No, we're just kind of caught. We're like, well, what are we going to do for supper? What are we going to do for supper? I'm like, you know, I think there's 2 left. We have 2 steaks left out of that Piedmontese box. And there was, thank goodness.
Now, was that for you and Coach Klassen, or was that for everybody, those 2 steaks?
That was for Ashley and I.
There you go.
The kids could have hot dogs or whatever.
There
but,
you go. Did they do reviews? They do hot dog reviews after.
Oh, we should have had you over for the hot dog reviews.
3 balls, 2 strikes. We'll have to do a hot dog review here at some point, won't we?
Yes, yes.
The Seymour Smith Park facility hot dog review. Full count to Raveling, who's 0 for 1. 3-2 count. I think, are we getting a hot dog request in the booth right now, Andy?
You might be. Asking you shall receive.
Well, I got to get over to certified Piedmontese beef. I mean, that I haven't had much since they sent us the first shipment.
Right.
I think I went once and bought some stuff for a barbecue, and there's ball 4 back-to-back walks.
It's pretty easy to get hooked on that place. I think I've been in there 2 or 3 times, and it's one of those deals where if I'm going down to 84th Street, I'm like, you know what? I got enough time. I'll just pull off here and go see what they got going on.
Peyton Stockwell going to talk things over with Dylan Novotny. We'll step aside for 30 seconds on News Channel Nebraska.
Claybaugh Pharmacy provides you with all the pharmacy options a person would need. As a full-service pharmacy, we give you all the traditional options, but also have the modern technology to maintain your profiles. Maybe you're busy. Head to claybaughpharmacy.com. Click on online refills to get your prescriptions filled from the convenience of your home. Claybaugh Pharmacy and Gift Shop, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Northwestern College product TJ Silliman back to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Couple of pop-ups, 1 to right, 1 back to the mound. Comes in with runners on first and second, just 1 out. You know, a long one here. It's a 2-run ball game with 2 innings to play, Andy.
You're exactly right. We're at the bottom of the 5th now. You're kind of running out of outs, and here's an opportunity in front of you. You got to take advantage.
First pitch, low for a ball, 1-0.
You also mentioned second meeting here of the inning. Umpire quick to say, hey, let's keep this one short. But Novotny going deep into this game. So you got an opportunity where you might have a guy with a little bit of a tired arm. It's been through it a little bit. It's just an opportunity offensively here for the Royal Blue Dogs.
And no action in the Black Sox bullpen. Back-to-back walks after 4 innings of shutout 2-hit ball for Dylan Novotny. Though you want 1 in there for a strike, ball and a strike. One out in the inning came at the top of the inning on the second pitch of the inning. Clayton Lewitt flew out on a blooper to center field. 1-1 in there for strike 2, ball and 2 strikes. We'll see if Novotny can right the ship here. Back-to-back walks, looking for a strikeout. Or a double play would work.
Pitcher's best friend. The old double play.
And the inning as well.
And Silliman's going to take a step out of the box here. Didn't like how long Novotny was prolonging the pause from the bump.
1-2. Popped up on the infield. Elkland over at third makes the catch in foul territory, and there's 2 gone.
Elkland's made a couple really nice plays at third base. That time having to kind of loop around and also work around a coach, but kept his eye on the ball the entire time. Easy can of corn. Made it look that way anyway, out of bounds.
That brings up Luke Bees. The Mount Marty product is 0 for 2. Tried to stretch a single into a double, got thrown out at second base in the first, and he popped up to second on the infield in the third. First pitch swung on a miss, 0-1.
And Novotny just kind of has a knack of having these hitters just miss his pitch just a little bit. We've seen a lot of foul-offs, pop-ups. A lot of times they're swinging just underneath that baseball.
The 0-1. Inside, and that was lucky for Novotny. That didn't get to the backstop. Azevedo, what a play behind the plate to get in front of that one. Or excuse me, Dumont behind the plate.
I was going to say, yeah, that was... Or is that Gordy Nuno?
Oh, looks like we have a new catcher in there.
Yeah, I think that's Gordy Nuno.
So Gordy Nuno, however, comes into the game for Azevedo and makes a nice play behind the plate.
Well, it looks like you're going to get your hot dog review
We
here.
are going to have a hot dog review, are we not, ladies and gentlemen? We'll have to do this during the... Should I do it live on air during the break? I feel like you got to do that during the break.
Yeah, I think maybe we could wait.
We'll do it in the break, yeah. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. 2-1.
Just a bit high. And we have seen that here with Novotny, where I don't know if that's his changeup, his curveball, but it'll get stuck upstairs.
2 outs in the inning. Novotny drives one to the left side, and Bees is going to drive in a run. Maybe not. A nice play. The ball is able to not get driven too far into left field. Instead, 2 outs, bases loaded, and all the pressure now pushed onto the Novotny and the Black Sox defense.
You're exactly right. You have 2 outs, so the infield doesn't have to come in. They can still play this one straight up. But how many times have we seen this here tonight? Really for both teams, both squads. Runners are on the, the table here. Ducks are on the pond. Can you convert?
Bases loaded. Pitch upstairs, 1-0. Now we got ketchup and mustard in the booth too, don't we? Some nachos.
And that was delivered by Commissioner Joe Seawood. Just heard from him a couple innings ago.
Great to have on the broadcast.
Yes.
1-0, low, 2-0.
Obviously very passionate about the game of baseball.
Yeah.
And what it's done for him and throughout his life. And obviously the great city of Omaha, kind of the home of college baseball. It all kind of fits together.
Will you make it out to a College World Series game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always try to make it out to at least one of those. Kind of got to.
Yeah. 2-0 foul down the line to first, and it's 2-1. I'm looking forward to that. I went to my first College World Series game last year, had a blast.
It's quite the experience. It really is, and a lot of familiar foes are we're down to 16. Only 8 are going to make it, but a lot of SEC, ACC teams. So probably going to be some big crowds in Omaha here in about a week.
2-1 is lined to center field and down in front of DeMonte. 1 run is across, a second is coming home, and don't look now, but back into this ball game, the Royal Blue Dogs get 2 here in the 5th.
Fantastic piece of hitting, driving that one right back up to center field, and I like the aggressive running there. Coach Vern Hasty didn't hesitate at all. Said, no, we're going to test the arm. We're going to try and get another one across here. The way he squared that one up, drove it right back up the middle.
And it appears that Coach Stockwell has gone to the bullpen. Day looks like it's done for Dylan Novotny. We'll go to break. We'll tell you about that new pitcher coming up. This is the Corn Belt League on News Channel Nebraska.
Whether you play on a field or play on a court or are running to greatness, during the game and after the game, during the wins and during the losses, Agri City Insurance has you covered. Here to help you ensure what matters most. Agri City Insurance.
At Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk, their focus is on you. As the leading provider of optometry with advanced diagnostics and equipment, they can ensure your eye health is their top priority. A quick glance at their frame area will show you that you can have style as well as function, with plenty of frames to choose from. Their mission is to educate patients and provide cutting-edge technology and exceptional service with personalized care. Come to Unity Eye Centers in Norfolk to clearly see the difference. Why? Because your eyes deserve it.
Five to 2 is our score at J.J. Isaacson Field. As 2 runs across here for the Blue Dogs in their half of the 5th after 5 were put up by the Black Sox in the top half. And for the first time this season, Midland University product Tyler Dunham has come into the ball game. Comes in with runners on first and seconds and 2 outs. Works in a fastball, a changeup, and a slider. And he was not who was loosening in the bullpen for the Black Sox, but he does come in now as the first relief pitcher for Dylan Novotny, who pitches 4 2/3, allowing 2 runs, both earned, allowed 4 hits, 3 walks, and he struck out 2. Both of the strikeouts came looking.
Yeah, Coach Stockwell wanted that big right-hander out on the mound right now. You still got a runner on second base here to shut things down for the Black Sox. Get out of this pinch. You've had 2 outs for a while now. Sometimes it's just a tall order getting that 3rd out punched out.
First pitch inside with a slider, 1-0.
going to give the Bellevue West product, Mahacek, another opportunity here. A little bit of a sidearm action. Mahacek making quick work of that. Pulling one right back at his own dugout.
1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs. Mahacek to the plate for the 3rd time. 1 for 1, reached on a walk in the 2nd, and singled 1 inning ago in the 4th. 1-1, called a strike, 1-2, close pitch.
You know, and give the Blue Dogs, the Royal Blue Dogs, a lot of credit here. They at least answered that top of the 5th inning performance where the Black Sox really got the lumber rolling, were able to post a 5 spot. They at least got a couple runs across the board, keep this one within arm's length.
1-2, ripped towards left field and over the glove of Elkland at 3rd. 1 run is going to score, and we'll have runners on 1st and 2nd, but it's now a 5-3 ball game on an RBI single by Trice Mahacek.
Yeah, Mahacek just straightened that one out. He ripped one to the left side just out of bounds a couple times pitches ago. That time straightened it out. And how about Luke Beast, the speed demon, motoring around third base? There was no hesitation there from Coach Hasty. He was sending him.
And that was hit to shallow left, as you saw on our instant replay here on News Channel Nebraska. But boy, speed and timely hitting sometimes can get you right back into a ball game.
Yes, they do. And these 2-out rallies do as well.
Jackson Van Pelt, designated hitter, back to the plate. Right now, no official at bat, sacrifice ground out. Excuse me, a fielder's choice, that is, and a walk. 1-1 the count. Van Pelt out of Buena Vista. The 1-1. Swing and a miss.
I think that one got in on him a little bit more than what he was expecting. That movement from left to right just kept creeping in on his hands.
Cardiff Smith on the mound in relief of Dylan Novotny, who's done after 4 2/3 innings. Had a shutout going until this 5th. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that ends the inning. But not before a crooked number is put up on the board in the 5th by the Royal Blue Dogs as they get a couple of runs, +1. 3 on the board, and it's a 5-3 ball game as we head to the 6th.
Other companies have the revolving door. Every time we come into Schaefer's, it's always the same people. And the big thing to me is they know you by name. They know who you are, which makes a person like myself feel just warm and welcome here. And that's what's great about Schaefer's.
Schaefer's has the essential Whirlpool appliances you need, from refrigerators and air fry ranges to laundry pairs to keep your clothes clean and sanitized at everyday low prices. At Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Certified Piedmontese Beef, Real Nebraska Beef, Region 4 Behavioral Health System, affordable, accessible, quality mental health and substance abuse services, and by Schaefer's. We're more than just TVs and appliances.
At Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
Welcome you back to J.J. Isaacson Field. Omaha Black Sox back on the hitting side of things as it starts with R.J. Gunderson here in the top of the 6th. First pitch, lifted to the right side, and it's easy as that. Seamson's over there and puts the first out away.
Yeah, Gunderson just kind of dropped his shoulder, got under that one just a little too much. Missed it. Easy infield fly. Emerging first baseman snacking that one.
So that brings up Cody Heidenreich as he comes in. Right now, 1 for 1 with a single coming back in the 3rd and a walk in the 5th, excuse me.
He also motored around for one of those runs.
He did indeed. Did score a run back in the 5th. The 1-0. Coming right at us here at our NCN booth, but over our head, out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I think our producer can exhale. That looked like it was a little wide of the truck.
It was. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball high, 2-1. I've been impressed with the pitching for a majority of this ball game. I mean, obviously there's been a couple of mistakes. There haven't been an insane amount of walks. I think it's probably about right for this point in the ball game, but overall the skill level tonight's been great.
You've also seen a variety of deliveries. As there you go, Caden Barton ties up the batter and also gets over there, helps himself out, makes a nice play.
And that'll go down as 3-1 on the scorebook for the second out here in the 6th inning.
You see Barton kind of utilized a little bit of a sidearm look to it. Not as much as Tyler Dunham, as we just saw enter the game for the Black Sox that last half inning, bottom of the 5th. But you could say the same here for Caden Barton, kind of used that little bit of a sidearm.
Yeah. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Currency. Need financing for RVs, ATVs, or other expensive items? Currency is here to help. Visit gocurrency.com. That's gocurrency.com. 2 balls, no strikes to Nick DeMonte. He made a couple of nice plays in the field. Also looked like he might have banged up his ankle on a play at first base, but he's back in the order here. Scored a run and singled, also back in the 5th inning. It was part of that 5-run 5th for the Omaha Black Sox.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. DeMonte played his high school ball at Platteview.
3-0. 4-pitch walk, and with 2 outs, the inning continues.
And this has been the tough one, right? These 2-out rallies been unbelievable the 5th inning on.
So that brings up Dylan Fuller, who's had a really nice night, Andy. 2 for 3, a single, a double, and a line out to right. So he's hit the ball hard 3 times. Unfortunately, he hit it right at Jake Butler in right field.
Right.
But halfway to the cycle.
Yeah, and I mean, he hit that one on the nose, too. That was a well-driven ball to right field that he pulled out there. And that would have been good for at least 1 RBI had it found the gap.
This one fouled off left side. Cardiff Smith on the mound for the Blue Dogs. He's the 3rd arm in the ball game for Royal Blue Dogs. 5th total. 1-1 the count.
That's going to advance the runner.
The ball gets behind the backstop, and runner moves over to second. So into scoring position is Nick DeMonte. 2 balls, 1 strike.
And I think if you're a Royal Blue Dog fan or player thinking, we got 2 outs, here we go again.
Yep.
You know?
And we'll see if the Black Sox can replicate what they did in the 5th, which was score 4 runs with 2 outs and a 2-1.
Oh, nice pitch.
Called a strike on the inside part of the plate, 2-2. What pitch did you chalk that one up as, Andy?
That was an inside, little bit of a, I don't know, it kind of had a floating action to it.
I had no idea. That's why I asked the baseball expert. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on second. In a 2-run, 5-3 game here in the 6th. As this one's popped foul, we'll do it again on 2-2.
It just feels like Caden Barton, he has a lot of different pitches that he will utilize. It has that unorthodox windup to go along with it. So it really keeps these batters kind of guessing for the Black Sox. And we can get one in on the hands like that still on the plate.
2-2. Hit high in the air towards center field. Lewitt is over there, a couple steps to his right, and he squeezes it as the Royal Blue Dogs avoid another 2-out rally. And we head to the bottom of the 6th, still 5-3, Omaha Black Sox leading the Blue Dogs.
A new year, a fresh start, a resolution to grow more, gain more, give more. The process is the same: plant, grow, harvest. But the way you do it is always evolving. And so are we, Aurora Cooperative. Grow, gain, give. Aurora and you.
I was given a prescription opioid pain medication that lasted a lot longer than the pain itself, and within only a few months, I was completely addicted. I lost everything, and I started to watch my life slip away. These drugs are addictive. One prescription can be all it takes to lose everything.
Welcome back to J.J. Isaacson Field. 5-3 Omaha Black Sox on top of the Royal Blue Dogs as we get ready for the bottom of the sixth inning. His name's Andy Klassen. My name is Jake Bartecki. Andy, first night of Corn Belt baseball, what you thought so far?
You know, it took a little while for both those offenses to come to life. They're struggling with runners in scoring position, but that fifth inning, we saw a little bit of an offensive explosion as they're also to, get through the lineup a couple times, see a pitcher once or twice, your odds kind of go up. You can kind of size them up a little bit better. And so far, it's been pretty solid. Tough one hopper there on the shortstop.
Yeah, Steenbach charging in from, as Andy said, shortstop. Couldn't make the play. Made a nice play just a couple innings ago. Here we see it in our Bank of the Valley instant replay. Andy, what do you see?
Well, he knew he had to do it in a hurry, and it was on a kind of a goofy half hop there. Just kind of got up into his hip a little bit. I think if Steenbach could have played it differently, I think he might have taken a little bit different of an angle. He got his body in front of it rather than just try and glove it at the hip.
And he'll be charged with an error over at shortstop. Garrett Simpson comes in for his third trip to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk back in the second. He struck out looking in the fourth. Was one of just 2 strikeout victims for Novotny, who ended his day with 4 2/3 innings in the books, allowing 2 runs on 4 hits. Ball goes through the wickets behind the plate of Nuno, and that allows the runner to move from first to second. So a runner in scoring position here with no one out for the Royal Blue Dogs.
Well, and this is how you mount a comeback. You get that first runner on, you're able to advance them through a pass ball, and yeah, you're still ahead in the count with this 1-1. You can be selective.
Runner on second is Butler, who reached on an error. This one hit towards right field. Fuller is back on it, and it's over his head. This will roll down into the midway warning track. Being sent home to score is Butler. Making the turn for third is Simpson, and the throw gets past the third base bag. It's a slide-in RBI triple. The first triple for anybody on the Royal Blue Dogs this season, and we have a 5-4 ball game.
And it was opposite field over the right fielder's head. Unbelievable. Then able to slide in. It looked like he might have been gunned down at third, but the relay throw just off the line enough. And here we go.
No kidding. So this one hit towards foul territory by Lewitt, and that will get out of play 0-1.
Yeager kind of closed in on that one. Almost was able to make a play on it. But here's a look at that triple.
Opposite field.
Yeah, Fuller just got caught kind of cheating in there and one kind of a looping off.
And we may not have made enough note of this. I know we've made note of it, but maybe not enough as that one's dribbled down the third base line. This is a wood bat league exclusively.
Right, yeah.
You think let's take these 2 factors. Butler pulls it, or excuse me, Simpson pulls it with a aluminum bat. Is that one gone?
It definitely would have a heck of a lot better chance. But that's another reason why you kind of like this wooden bat. You get more defensive play.
Here's a grounder hit towards second. Throw on to first is in time. And sliding home to score the run and tie the ball game is Simpson. So a 5-run 5th inning by the Black Sox, erased by 3 runs in the 5th by the Royal Blue Dogs and 2 here in the 6th.
Yeah, and give Lute the RBI. He knew he just had to punch one down the right side. That was good enough for that ribby. And back to your point about the wooden bat league, it really makes the hitters earn their numbers. How many times do you see with an aluminum bat where something like that gets it on your hands and you're able to drive it. Now that one still had enough on it, got over the infield, but sometimes with an aluminum bat, you'll see a little check swing like that, and like you said, it'll find its way out of the park rather than just be an easy can of corn, pop up out.
2 hits through the first 4 innings for the Royal Blue Dogs. Since then, 6 hits in the last 2, and with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, this home team, the Blue Dogs, have come back to tie the ball game. And now threatening again with 1 on and 1 out. First
how much
pitch to Reveling is fouled off.
And, you know, we haven't seen too many hitters been able to square up. Tyler Dunham, the pitcher for the Black Sox, these have been a lot of infield hits, opposite field kind of looping, you know, balls. Kind of feel bad for the pitcher right now.
0-1 the count, or excuse me, yes, 0-1 the count to Raveling.
Got to look at head coach Vern Hasty there.
He's loving what he's seeing.
Oh, yeah.
Throw back over to first in time. Dumont, who has 2 stolen bases through the first 3 games played for the Blue Dogs. He started 2 of those 3 games. This is the 3rd game he'll start in the first 4. This one chopped down the 3rd base line, and we'll do it again on 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out.
Yeah, this is where Raveling, you see it, he's doing a really good job protecting anything around the plate. Looks like he's going to give it a hack.
0-2 is sweeping away from the plate, and it gets behind Nuno, behind the dish. And 1 ball, 2 strikes, and now with 1 out, runner into scoring position, double play, gone.
But it's got to be around the plate, and I think that's what Dunham was thinking there. The pitcher for the Black Sox was, hey, I'm going to try and get this guy chase one out of the zone. Still got to keep it around the zone.
1-2, 1 out. And this
Oh,
one
no.
gets away from the catcher behind the plate as well, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a runner on third. Back-to-back wild pitches. The 6th inning is brought to you in part by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Stop into their Lincoln or Grand Island locations and help your jewelry dreams come true. So we got a mound visit here, Andy. If you are Peyton Stockwell, what are you telling your pitcher on the mound here, Trevor Dunham?
Settle down. You're not helping yourself right now. Just go ahead and deliver strikes. You're ahead on this batter, 0-2. Then 2 pitches later, we're all knotted up at 2-2, and the base runner is 180 feet closer to home plate. You're still in control. You're still ahead in the count here, 2-2. Forget about the guy at third base. That's in the past. Now we got to focus in on getting that 2nd out.
And with a run here, if Raveling is able to drive in Dumont from third base, gives the Royal Blue Dogs a chance to win this game in the next half inning.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And when they're down 0-5, you know, and I'm not sure if I saw a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy out of their dugout. Boy, they've really been able to do a nice job of kind of churning the tide here and getting that momentum back, knotting it all up 5-0 with a chance to go up.
2-2 fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Infield is in all the way around, playing for the bunt. This one fouled off again, similar to the play before. That one fouled off home plate.
Raveling continues to make contact, foul these off, extend his at bat. Continue to be a thorn in the side. Tyler Dunham.
2-2. This one hit high in the air
Look
towards
out.
center field. DeMonte was playing in. He makes the catch. Tagging up from third is DeMont. Play at the plate. No throw in. And to the lead, the Omaha Royal Blue Dogs come all the way back from 5 runs down to take a 6-5 lead in the bottom of the 6th.
Just fantastic. Fantastic at bat there all the way around from Ben Raveling. He got down 0-2 early in that count. Just continued to battle and battle, fight after pitch, allowed 2 wild pitches in a row, and that's what was so key about that. That allowed him to make the adjustment and then just drive something up, out into the outfield. Good for that RBI.
Yeah, another RBI, another run scored for the Royal Blue Dogs here in the later half of this ball game. 5 runs put up in the last inning and a half, 6 total to come all the way back from 5 down.
Wow, just flipped the script after the Black Sox exploded for 5 runs, as you mentioned, in the 5th.
1-1 the count after Silliman fouls one off down the third base line. Boy, Andy, it's something about you and I calling games that have comebacks in them. 1-1, outside 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter the complexion of the game early on. It does seem like whoever's on the other side of that, they're going to bounce right back. That's been the story thus far.
2-1. Fastball in there for a strike on the high part of the zone, 2-2. Deflating if you're the Omaha Black Sox. Start the year 0-2, and an inning continues here after having squandered a 5-0 lead as that one's poked through the left side for a base hit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. 2 teams kind of going in opposite direction. Royal Blue Dogs were on a 2-game winning streak. Black Sox gave up their first and final 2-game losing streak. And it looked like they were well on their way to maybe getting that first win of this early season, but the Royal Blue Dogs had different ideas.
So it brings up Luke Bees, the shortstop. The pitch. Takes one at the hands, 1-0.
And this has been a reoccurring theme for us throughout the evening, these 2-out rallies. Oh, ouch.
1-0, fouled off, 2-0.
I think that's a hit batter.
Oh, was it hit?
Yep.
Did it get him on the hands then?
Yeah.
Well, that sends a runner to first, and now runners on first, second. See, that's a hard part. Look down. I'm very invested in making sure I keep a clean scorebook, which I don't know. I think it looks pretty clean.
Looks clean to me. I like how you got a little color scheme going there with the blue ink.
Thing. I use markers. For everybody listening at home, I use blue and black markers because that's you get the Blue Dogs, Black Sox, and I was writing down the last little mark there and hit by pitch.
Hey, makes sense to me.
That's one thing that I've noticed with baseball is when, especially in the MLB, when you look at the pitch clock, the announcers have a lot less time to analyze and gab differently. And it's changed the way you broadcast games, too.
Yeah, and I was thinking about that earlier where you had Novotny that would really change, you know, kind of his delivery. And you really saw with Ryan Malone where he had that hesitated windup, and then he had that real fast windup where he didn't even lift his left leg up much at all. So that's where that pitch clock kind of helps out the pitcher a little bit.
Yeah. Carter Washburn swings and misses 1 and 2.
Which, you talk to pitchers from, 1908 on in the big leagues, they say all these rules favor the batters. We finally get one here at the pitch clock.
Washburn grounds one to Gunderson at second. He throws on to Jackson Yeager to end the inning. 3 runs and the go-ahead run go on the scoreboard in the 6th inning for the Royal Blue Dogs. They're looking to pick up their 3rd win of the season. We'll head to the 7th. This is Corn Belt League Baseball on NCN.
Storefronts, pop-up shops, food trucks, and digital retail. The way we do business is ever-changing, and so are we. Madison County Bank's business lending team is constantly evolving to support and provide new information to our business and commercial customers. We understand that your business is truly unique. We are ready to find the business banking services that fit your needs best. Madison County Bank, here to help you grow.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you've got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
Royal Blue Dogs lead as we get ready for the top of the 7th. The seventh inning brought to you in part by Columbus Community Hospital. Experience excellence at Columbus Community Hospital, where your health is their top priority. Andy, this game has had ups and downs. It's been a roller coaster, to say the least.
Right.
It was a 5-0 Black Sox lead, then 5-3, then 6-5. And even in between there, the Black Sox were threatening yet again in their half of the sixth. Now they're down a run. It's do or die trying.
It really is, and I was thinking that early on, really for both squads, because they were leaving base runners in scoring position. Those early innings, I'm thinking, all right, who's going to look back at this game and shake their head saying, we left those out there, that's going to haunt us, and that appears to be the case right now for the Black Sox, trying to get their first win of the season.
0-2 the count. This one fouled off. As coming into the ball game to pitch now for the Blue Dogs, Will Johnson out of Mount Marty. Stick around after the ball game for our You Save Pharmacy post-game show dedicated to the well-being of all of our customers. We've got some candidates for the post-game player of the game as a swing and a miss, strike three. DeMauro strikes out as Johnson gets his first strikeout of the season, and there's one gone.
That's what you like to see from your closer. Come in, throw gas, get that early strikeout.
Been a fun night of baseball here at J.J. Isaacson Field. The Omaha Black Sox hoping they can continue what's been a good and competitive night. I mean, that's the other thing. We talked about it being a roller coaster, but it's been competitive all the way.
Yes, it has been. And you're seeing some grit, you know, from the Royal Blue Dogs getting down by 5 runs in that 5th inning, but they bounced right back. They answered offensively, got a couple of their own, and just kept chipping away, and now they got a chance to close one out here. They're just 2 outs away.
2-1 the count after a swing and a miss there. Again, stick around after the ball game for our coach's post-game interview. You'll either hear from Peyton Stockwell or Vern Hasty. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com. Sarpy County Tourism, the proud sponsor of our coach's post-game interview. 2-2 the count. 2 outs away are the Omaha Blue Dogs from improving to 3-1 and sending the Black Sox to 0-3 to start the year. The slider drifts away on Johnson, 3-2.
Jaeger Jackson, nice job laying off that pitch. You could tell he wanted it.
3-2. Upstairs for ball 4, and it's a 1-out walk. So the go-ahead run to the plate, the tying run on the base paths here with 1 gone in the top of the 7th.
And that was a real nice at-bat that time from the big first baseman out of West Side High School, Jaeger Jackson. You know, a lot of times you see those big dudes get up there in a spot like this. They want to hack, tie things up with 1 swing. Takes the walk, gets a base runner here for the Black Sox.
It looks like we got a pinch hitter in the ball game as well for the Black Sox, and that's Tyler Dunham, who comes in the place of Novotny, of course, but he makes his first trip to the plate right here.
Well, Dunham, the relief pitcher, entered into the game, has an opportunity to kind of help himself out here.
Yeah. 1-1 the count to Dunham in our pitcher versus pitcher matchup. Will Johnson on the mound, Tyler Dunham on the plate, and Dunham charges one towards shortstop, on to second for 1, on to first for 2, and a rack-em-up double play ends the ball game. The Blue Dogs come back from down 5 to score 6 in the final 2 innings and win it 6-5.
Bang, bang play, pitcher's best friend, especially if you're a closer, to close out the game. The Royal Blue Dogs continue their winning ways, make it 3 straight as they win from comeback behind fashion over the Black Sox. What a game, Jake.
Our top plays are coming up. They're brought to you in part by Currency. Does your business need help financing big ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Our player of the game also brought to you in part by Nebraska Orthopedic Center. Andy Klassen will have all of that good stuff coming up. We'll have highlights, interviews, and a recap of a 6-5 win for the Omaha Royal Blue Dogs tonight in Omaha. This is the Corn Belt League. More coming up.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. If your business needs help financing big-ticket items, visit GoCurrency.com for details. And by Custom Sports. Represent your school and look good doing it with Custom Sports.
Woodhouse brings you the experts and insight to keep your vehicle road ready. From regular maintenance to larger issues, our team of service advisors and brand certified techs have the solutions to get you and your vehicle back on the road. Plus, you can enjoy convenience of scheduling online, amenities like pickup and delivery, and for quick fixes, comfortable lounges within our dealerships. Bringing you more every time since 1975. Service with Woodhouse.
If you're thinking about becoming a John Deere technician, receive a debt-free degree from Landmark Implement. With the John Deere Student Tech Program, receive reimbursement for up to 100% of college tuition, fees, books, and room and board, plus a $5,000 tool stipend. Students are paid a competitive hourly wage for their work hours and are guaranteed employment at a Landmark location after graduation. Visit landmark.careers to find out more about the John Deere Student Tech Program and become part of the Landmark difference.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back. Sure.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. We have wedding bands. We'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
Experience what banking local feels like. Bank of the Valley is owned and managed by the people within our community. This means our decisions are made right here by people who care about you and the communities we serve. Knowing our customers personally helps our experienced team provide the best solutions as your banking needs and goals change. Stop into our newest branch in Schuyler, Nebraska, or visit any of our other bank locations in person or online. Bank of the Valley. Together, we go further.
Spring is here. For farmers, making safety a priority this planting season can be the difference between life and death. Always look out for power lines before exiting the cab, when loading and transporting machinery, and when raising or unfolding equipment. Keep equipment at least 20 feet from power lines and use a spotter when possible. Be aware of what's overhead. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
NCN Sports is sponsored by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. Columbus Motor Company, where you'll find one low price, plain and simple, always. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
Proud of the community you live in, taking care of the people in it isn't a job, it's an honor. At John Henry's, we take pride in being relied upon by the great people of Lincoln and the surrounding areas. A hard day's work means a happy customer, and making happy customers has been our goal all along. A team of expert plumbers, drain specialists, and HVAC professionals, dedicated to finding solutions for our customers. Because for us, a successful day ends with a handshake and a smile. John Henry's, our family serving yours.
Welcome back to J.J. Isaacson Field, where the Royal Blue Dogs have completed the comeback to pick up a 6-5 win over the Omaha Black Sox. They improved to 3-1. Black Sox fall to 0-3. Andy Klassen is standing by with head coach Vern Hasty to talk about how it all went down. Andy, we'll send it down to you.
Oh, Blue Dogs. Runs were really tough to come by there in the early, but your team kind of hung in there and found a way. What does that say?
Well, it says a lot about the guys. We, like you say, they hung together, made some errors there earlier in the game, gave up 5 runs. It looks like it was the 5th inning. But I knew we were going to start swinging. Well, had a good feeling we were going to start swinging the bat and start fielding the ball a little better than we did the first few innings. And we came through. The kids hit the ball at the right time. We got some runs across and got out with a win.
And can you tell me a little bit about your starting pitcher, Malone, because you had a couple different windups. You had one kind of hesitated with his high leg kick, and then another one where he was just real quick to the plate with it, and he didn't have much of a kick at all. Is that a product of this new pitch clock, or is that just kind of the way he's always done it?
No, I tell you what, I just met Ryan a couple weeks ago, and he had Tommy John surgery just last year, and he's really taking it easy. He pitched a few days ago, last week, and just went out for a couple innings, and we were limiting him to about 40 pitches, and I think he threw 38, but he did a good job. He kept the runners at bay with a little funky hip and drive there. So, but no, he did a great job.
Now, Mr. Hasty, you are a Marine. One of the things that the Corn Belt League offers is opportunities to all sorts of players from all over the nation. We're having a little fun here July 3rd, right before July 4th. We're having a traveling team, the War Dogs, come in, and it's to honor the military, all 5 branches. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, from what I understand, they're a team we're going to play called the Military War Dogs. As you know, I served in the United States Marine Corps, and Joe, the owner of the league, commissioner of the league, asked me if I'd like to manage it, and I said sure. So we're going to get some kids throughout the league whose families served in the military, and it should be a pretty fun night.
It's always a fun night, July 3rd out at the ballpark.
Absolutely, especially when you're honoring veterans. Absolutely.
No doubt. Now, what can you tell me about tonight's player of the game, Ben Raveling? Huge at bat there. That sac fly in the 6th inning put you guys on top.
I'll tell you, Ben is a hard worker, and once again, I've only known him for a couple weeks also, but I know he's a hard worker. And a couple days ago, we were working on the tee, and gosh, he had some really wild hands working there, so we got him to quiet his hands down a little bit, and nice smoother swing through the zone. And he had 2 strikes on him, and I told him, I said, Ben, just make contact, and we're going to get winning run in. And by golly, that's just what he did.
By golly. Thank you, Coach, for your time. Congratulations on the win.
Appreciate it.
All right, let's bring in our player of the game, Ben Raveling. What does that say about your team? You guys got down 5 early, had a couple errors work against you out in the field, but you just hung in there and found a way.
Yeah, we're just really competitive. Like we like to win. So whenever something bad happens, we want to get it back. You know, we know against good teams, mistakes are costly. So.
And you just heard from Coach Hasty there where, you know, he's saying wild hands, so you're working on the tee. Yeah. What is that like where you put the time and effort in, then you say it pay off out on the diamond?
It feels good. It feels really good, you know. And it's nice having a coach that's willing to just come out of his day and just help me out, because I was struggling a little bit. Didn't have the best first game.
Now, I called your name in the dugout. I saw some teammates say, hey, get on the Beaver hat, represent. What's it like to play with some of your teammates? I think there's 7 other Buena Vista Beavers on the team here.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun outside the ballpark, too. You know, like, you have stuff to do, people to hang out with, you know. So, and it also just kind of helps us get closer together for when our actual season starts in the spring.
Now, get back to this game here tonight. We picked you because you had that huge at-bat, all tied up, 5-all. Bottom of the 6th, you got down in that account, if you remember that, 0-2. What was going through your mind? What was your mindset throughout?
Well, initially, Cannon, the guy that was on base, he was initially on second. So my plan was to put it on the right side. But pass ball, moved him over, so I knew it was just, I had to keep fighting until I got a pitch I could put in play.
All right, you guys are on a 3-game winning streak. What has to continue for the Royal Blue Dogs to continue this winning way?
We just got to keep playing well, keep being aggressive at the plate, and just limit our mistakes. We've been getting better in the field every night, so just got to hope that keeps improving.
Ben, thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win.
All right, thank you. You have a good night.
All righty, Jay, let's send it back up to you in the booth to wrap this one up.
Hasty and Ben Raveling as the Blue Dogs complete a 6-run comeback to win it 6-5. Let's check out some of those top plays. Our screen up here has been a little fuzzy tonight, so bear with us, but we'll do the best we can here. So the Omaha Black Sox, who have come into this one 0-2, the Royal Blue Dogs with a record of 2-1 as we got ready to go here. Beautiful night from baseball from J.J. Isaacson Field. As we got underway in the first inning, there you see Vern Hasty. And the interesting part about that was Hasty, head coach of both of these 2 teams. So he's the head coach of the Omaha Black Sox and the Royal Blue Dogs. He was able to coach both teams tonight. He coached the Blue Dogs, and next time it'll be Peyton Stockwell. Right here, you see a big strikeout early. Ryan Malone got his first strikeout of his summer career right there. And there you go. Well, Novotny says, I can do that as well. Gets his first strikeout to end the second inning. He had just 2 strikeouts tonight with 4 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. And there's the first run of the ball game here. The Black Sox get one across. Coming home to score that one from the 10 hole was Cody Hinrich, and he came in to score. And that was a 1-0 ball game. 2-0 the score now. Another couple of offensive plays here. Novotny aids his pitching, using his hitting, and using a little bit of a mistake to his advantage by the second baseman Johnson for the Royal Blue Dogs. And we head to the 6th inning. And now an RBI towards right field. This one coming in off the bat of Garrett Siemsen. This is probably gone in most ballparks. I mean, you're talking opposite field, no wind, wood bat, drives it over the head of the right fielder for a stand-up triple. Another run scored, and here's Ben Raveling, our player of the game. Skies one high in the air to center field, pushes DeMonte back, and it's able to score the then go-ahead run to put the Blue Dogs up 6-5. And then to end the ball game, the 6-4-3 double play, and the Royal Blue Dogs, after dropping their first of the season, have won 3 in a row and are now 3-1. The Black Sox fall to 0-3. They have again squandered another late lead in the early part of this summer season as they fall tonight 6-5. That'll do it for JJ Isaacson Field. Again, thanks to our presenting sponsors, Faith Regional Health Services. When you need exemplary care, have faith. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with Purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. And a big thank you also to Andy Klassen and our entire News Channel Nebraska crew, Tyler Brasovsky, and all the good folks in the truck. We appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you next week from right here, same time, same place, Corn Belt League Baseball next Thursday on News Channel Nebraska. Good night, everybody.
The postgame show on NCN is brought to you by You Save Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers.